What's going on, guys? I'm 6 minutes late. Not as bad as I was that last time. How's everybody doing tonight? Hey, what's up, Abed? Adam? What's up, Amanda? Let's see. What's up, Saltine? And You're What You Eat says, Lion's Mane can taste like licking a lion, but comb tooth is delicious. I made chicken soup last week with a mix of dried mush leftovers, mostly comb tooth. Everyone raved about it. That sounds awesome, man. Heck yeah. What's up, Micro Mama? Hey, Thomas. Welcome to the chat, man. Glad you could make it, too. You guys are going to see some funny sides of me. I literally just got back from the warehouse. I've been pouring pre-poured plates that will be selling through the website. And sorry, you all right?
Yeah.
Okay. But I have not had time to set up everything. I was speeding all the way home just so I could be here with you fine folks. So, what's up, Roan? Thomas? Anthony? Man, we're going to have a good one tonight, I think, guys. Did you hear Corona cough? Who knows, man? As my son, I don't know, spitting his tonsils out or something. You're not old enough yet, boy. Well, no Corona coughs yet. Hey, turn that back on. Brody, nothing needs to be unplugged over there.
It's like black and white on your screen.
Yeah, it's dark right there.
Children. This is what's going to kill me, not Corona.
Amazing. Not children
Hey,
are the best.
you guys, come on. They want to. They don't want to talk to you. Want to talk to me?
Maybe they want to talk to us. What if they do want to talk to us?
Hey guys, give me 1 sec to set this to plug you in so I don't lose you.
It goes into the deep abyss.
Oh my goodness! Hey Collier,
Yes, sir.
come here. Go plug that in over there, please. Up
You made it.
and down in that white.
Where? No.
Oh, you're welcome, Micro Mama. I'm glad I could help. That white power strip right there. Just take it up and over.
Howard.
Look, hey, Collier, look up where I'm pointing. Up that way.
Oh.
Oh,
Oh.
technical difficulties, folks. But yeah, Micro Mama, you're very welcome. What's up, T? Salty says, I concur. About the children? Are your children are going to go crazy too? What Agar did you forget, Micro Mama? Oh, you didn't order it yet. The stuff I linked you? Yeah, you should order that. I wonder if we're going to start having a shortage of that stuff before you know it.
I've tried to look at some of the messages and I accidentally put my head in there.
It's all right, Aislinn. You're
I
fine.
just want to say,
So wait, what do we want to talk about tonight, guys? Samantha might even join us at some point. I don't know. She doesn't have to, but she is here.
Hi.
Daddy,
I was trying to help Aislinn with
can you
a
help me?
video so that she can.
Well, not a video. Just
Here, hold on.
Contacts.
doing videos
But I can see now.
just because of your content.
Let's talk about the warehouse. You know what they say about working with kids and animals? No, Lance, I don't know. Can you tell me? Is that safe for internet? Well, let's see, Saltine. What do you want to know about the warehouse? I had a lot of fun over there working today. I didn't get to work over there nearly as much as I wanted. I took a lot of phone calls today. Give me 1 second.
Also, Saltine, I sent you some sketches, and I didn't see an email back, so I am sorry if I have missed that. Let me know.
Man, I don't think contacts are supposed to burn when you put them in.
I don't think either.
Okay, that's better. All right. But yeah, Saltine, what do you want to know about the warehouse? I was over there pouring plates. We've got the first grow room set up. The steamer's over there running right now. We have water plumbed in along the spine of the building. It's coming together really nicely. We have our first bags incubating in there. We have lab work already being done and going. Let's see. Hope everything's going well. Yeah, Bearded Bullets. Welcome, man. Yeah, everything's going great. Actually, I'm having kind of the time of my life. I know it looks like I'm crying. It's because I just put contacts in, so don't you worry. How's everything going at the warehouse? Well, hopefully, I've already answered that, Amanda. But if you guys want to know anything else about it, I'd be happy to talk about it. It's going great. It's every night I close up the place and I just kind of like look at it and I go, man, I love this place. And then I leave and I'm kind of sad to leave. And I'll be honest, it's a little difficult working in two places at one time.
It is kind of strange.
But I was pouring agar and Samantha was drawing on the wall, getting ready for our murals going in. So I'm really excited about that.
I'm excited too. But yeah, it was kind of daunting going in there and it being so large. But now we're beginning to fill it up and it's starting to feel like a little more like home.
Oh yeah,
that's nice.
It's definitely feeling a lot more like home, especially with mushroom bags growing in there. It just feels more like home. Let's see. Beth says, what size bags are you using, or that you use? So I use the XLS for my fruiting blocks. That comes, it's from Unicorn. So the Unicorn XLS series, you can look that up. And then the 5T is what I use for my spawn bags. Oh, come on. No, not that. I solidified my agar I was going to pour. Oh, and hello there, pretty lady. She is awfully pretty. I got you. Though when we were talking earlier, I see what you're saying. Yeah, it can solidify. Just what I do is put it back in the pressure cooker. Actually, I'll do that a lot of times. I'll make up multiple flasks of agar that I want, and then just go through and heat them up in the pressure cooker the next day or the next time I want to use them. So just don't want to get them boiling again if you can help it. Just melt them. Just subscribed the other day. Love the content. Very informative. Would love to one day begin my own farm. You guys do a fantastic job. Thank you, Poets. I appreciate that. I mean, we obviously couldn't build this channel without fine folks like you. So I appreciate you subscribing to us and showing us that love. Let's see. Saltine, thanks, Samantha. I haven't checked my email in a bit.
That's okay. I understand.
She just want to make sure you hadn't forgotten her, especially since you had thought that she'd forgotten you, and she
you get crazy busy and you run around like a chicken with your head cut off, and then you just got like a bajillion things to do at once, and then before you know it, like 4 days have passed, and you're just like, oh my gosh, what happened? That time warp. I get it. Totally get it.
Michael Mama says, hey, Chica, did your hub tell you the issue I had today? No. Not the T-shirt stuff.
Wait, what?
I think she heard everything else. She's having a problem with the design on the T-shirt transfer. It's not going through. It's not being clear. Like, it's putting a white layer over what should be transparent.
Okay.
Apparently, you have tickled her problem-solving itch, and now she is going to go take care of it. So, let's see. Hi, to talk about magic and mushrooms. I have to be careful about that. Let's wait until after 10 minutes, and then I'll answer whatever I'm comfortable answering. But I really don't have that much experience with it, and so I'm one of the few mushroom growers I know that got started in the edibles. So, as Rowan says, finally found soy hole pellets I can get way up here. Hold on a second. Hey, Brody, how about you go make noise somewhere else? Found soy pellets I can get way up here. $380 a ton plus freight out of Madison. Okay, so I don't know what freight's going to cost you, but honestly, that's not bad. That's actually pretty good for soy pellets. You should be able to make money doing that. So congratulations. Thomas, greetings from Melbourne, Australia. Thank you so much for sharing your knowledge and inspiring us. Yeah, absolutely, Thomas. Thank you. Glad to see us going international again. We seem to do that a lot here. Michael, I'm on it, so listen to y'all and melt agar again. Yeah, I know. It's kind of crazy, huh? What is the ideal way to control CO2 in the growth room? Do you mean, when you say grow room, and this is something we get a lot, do you mean incubation or do you mean fruiting? because those will be two different things. If you're talking about incubation, we vent it. And if you're talking about grow, we vent it. Just lots of fresh air constantly. Hope you guys don't mind if I put my hair down. I've had it up all day, and it is really bothering me, actually.
Oh.
Ooh. She likes it when it's down.
I do.
She likes it when it's up, too.
Now talking about demonetization.
Dead now. Talking about. Well, it's past 10 minutes. We won't get demonetized now.
Oh my god. Wow.
Okay. Let's see. Michael Mom says, "Girl, you don't have to right now," and she did it in all caps, so she means it.
Well, like Andrew said.
Yeah. When you get her problem solving spot going, you can't stop. $65 freight. Heck yeah, Roan. That's a hell of a deal. Is that like to your door freight? Because maybe I need to know that information.
Yeah, that'd be awesome.
Because I don't think our co-op will even deliver across counties that way, that cheap. Okay. Yeah, let's not get demonetized for that. Fair enough. I mean, we're past 10 minutes. We can keep our monetization now. Let's see. Gaines, Michigan. Welcome, Gaines, Michigan. Hey, Andrew, are you still doing in-person consultations? If so, what's the best way to get something up? I live in Utah. Would love to come out. Yeah, we absolutely are. Tennessee is pretty much open. We have a voluntary stay-at-home shelter-in-place order, but we are an essential business. So we travel freely as needed. I don't know what your state or the states in between you and I would have to do, so you would need to look all that stuff up. But we absolutely are doing in-person consultations. I will say that the in-person, we're also doing mentorships. So we're doing week-long mentorships that you can come and stay. It's $1,000 for the week. You'll need to find a place to stay. That's why I charge half as much as Brian Callow, is because we'll be working you for sure. You'll learn the business, but I don't have a place to put you up like he does. So I charge half as much. But if you want to do that, absolutely. If you want to do an in-person consultation, yeah, just call me. If you're in Utah, you should be able to call me just fine. Anytime you're going to be up, I'll probably be up before you, but not as late. Let's see. I like those designs, Samantha. I'll email you with more details. Awesome. Thank you, Saltine. It is awfully schmexy. Thank you. Tell me more good things about me. Fruiting room. Okay, I bet. So with the fruiting room, I put my fan up high, and I just try to replace my air completely in my room every 2.5 minutes. That's how I deal with CO2. What's up, Wayne? Hello, Mossback fam. Hope everyone's having a great evening. I am. I'm actually feeling pretty chipper. You can ask Samantha. I was dragging ass earlier, but now I'm doing really well. Samantha, it's past 10 minutes.
I didn't know.
I used to wear my hair like that, Andrew. My scalp would start to hurt after being up all day. Yeah, man, that's exactly kind of what happened. Like, I pull it back tight too, and she's told me not to pull it back so tight. But man, it just starts going poof in my face and everything if I don't. So, yeah. Holy crap, Roan! Send me that link. Yeah, Roan. See if you can get it to me at least, or I don't know if you and Michael Mama are in contact with each other, but yeah, see if you can get us that link. That'd be awesome. Fruited some blues the other day, and a few of the caps had these little warty, pimply bumps on them. I bet your humidity, Si. I've never seen that before over the couple hundred blocks I've done. Any thoughts on what it could be? Humidity. It's probably your humidity. Let's see. If you do...
Hi, Jason.
Jason's on! Jason, it feels like an eternity since I've seen you, man.
It does.
Like...
All right.
Laura and I were just talking about how much we missed working with you.
Yeah.
Let's see. The warty caps, the warty bumps on the caps. Yeah, you're probably talking high humidity and too much fog. So if you notice in my videos, I do a high end on the humidity, like 85% relative humidity, sometimes 90. But I'll drop my humidity. My low end will be down towards 65, 70 if it's having a hard time keeping up. So it'll cycle a little bit more often. But You really want to make sure you have that dip down to allow the mushrooms to dry out just a little bit. But if it's not your humidity, if you think you got your humidity dialed in, let me know and we'll come up with something else. Eric Jepson got a request from a restaurant for dehydrated mushrooms, and I have no idea how to price them. Any suggestions? Oh, I think we used to do $5 an ounce at market. I don't know. We've dried a lot of mushrooms over this past week. We're going to store them. We're putting them in 5-gallon Mylar bags with oxygen absorbers, and then putting them in 5-gallon buckets, and putting them onto our long-term emergency food storage. So I haven't been selling any yet, but really the biggest way I'm probably going to sell them is powders. So we've actually got.
I would weigh how much makes a pound wet, and then I would dehydrate it and see how much it weighs.
And then add a little bit of a surcharge for drying it.
And for the electricity and the time.
Yeah.
That's what I would do. I feel very spooky with this lighter.
You look a little spooky. A little Casperish.
Sorry.
Got a request from a restaurant for dehydrate. Oh, I just read that. I'm paying $9 for a 60-pound bag. Well, Michael, Mama, you're paying a lot better than I am because I'm paying like $12 per 60-pound bag, per 50-pound bag. Roan, for now, going to have it delivered to Walgreens, but want to see if I can work out a deal with a local feed store to get it dropped on their dock. That would be a good idea if you can. If you were close to me, I'd let you use my dock, but I have barely gotten to use my dock. It was my dream for this place that I would be there for the first freight delivery, and I wasn't there. It sucked. And every time I've had a freight delivery, I've not been there. Still haven't seen it. Makes me upset. Thomas says, how do you guys cook up your chestnuts? I don't, because they are disgusting.
Andrew hates them.
I think they're the most foul thing on this planet.
I think they're very, very good. I like, of course, all the mushrooms and butter and garlic with a little bit of salt and pepper, but,
There you go.
And I will say that the chestnuts, they get all gooey. They make a really good gravy.
Let's see. Chef Preston cooked them one time. What they do? They did like a lacto fermentation. I think they lacto fermented them and then cooked it down till it was like a syrup.
Yeah, it was like a sauce.
That's the only way I've ever had it
good.
that I liked it.
We should see if
Man.
he could help us recreate that.
Well, I could call him or text him. So that's the way that I've seen chestnuts cooked that I like. They lacto fermented them and they cooked them down, made a syrup out of them. Nobody's gonna be able to see that.
I was really hoping. Okay.
Well, if you insist, I'll inflate your ego a little more than I did already today. Michael Mama, I'll take an inflated ego any time of day. I miss you all getting to see me too. Of course, just Ron said he says email sent. Awesome, thank you, Ron. It's a fish. Hey, fish. Yeah, indeed, have my humidity a bit higher because I've been doing lion's mane at the same in an 8x8 tent, so it makes sense. Thanks. Yeah, you're very welcome. So a little trick with your lion's mane, they can be grown in. She may not want you showing her logo.
Can I ask you a question, Michael? I need help.
Let's see. But yeah, your lion's mane can take lower airflow. Sorry, I got completely derailed. So you can actually put your lion's mane in a place and have higher humidity and lower airflow, and they perform really well that way. I sell mine per pound as much as fresh and sell it that way. So, Michael, Mama, that seems like a good way to go. I mean, with dehydrated, you're no longer looking at getting the same profit margin. More like recouping your profit or recouping your cost, I guess I should say. Oxygen absorbers can absorb flavor too. Might be better off without. Ooh, I did not know that.
I know that.
Maybe I should do a bag with and a bag without and then wait a year and see what happens. I charge $30 a pound dehydrated. Oh, you're talking retail prices. Yeah, okay, that makes even more sense. Got any ideas on how to heat a small sealed off room I'm running between 45 and 50 now, and they're growing good in there, but a little slow. When you say it's sealed off, if you've got fresh air flowing in, put your heater upwind of your grow room. So it'll basically pre-treat the air before it goes into the room. And that is the way we've done it before. We put a heater just outside our grow room, but we haven't had to do that in a while because our incubation area is putting off so much heat. I think most people I know have a hard time sourcing soybean hulls or pellets for the master's mix. Is there a comparable alternative? I don't know the comparable alternative, like a 50-50, as far as recipe goes, 50-50 mix. You can do 16% alfalfa pellets and the rest sawdust, and then hydrate, same as you would anything else. And that apparently works wonders. I've never done that, but a lot of my students have done it and really liked it. And I've seen a lot of people take pictures that say that that's their mixing and grow well. A lot of people use wheat bran, and I find that wheat bran is superior for shiitake, but is terrible for oysters, lion's mane, pretty much anything else that I've grown so far. I was there for the first delivery. It feels like the first time, like the very first time. Well, thanks, Jason. I do appreciate you being there. Just wish I was there too. Did you guys change up your ventilation systems in the new place? So yes and no. I should do a video on that. I had the camera over there, and I should have brought that. I should have done a video on it. But our fans are going outside the grow rooms now in the top, so that they can be taken out and exchanged and cleaned.
Excited.
I know, right? Without having to actually be in the grow room, because it sucks being in the grow room and trying to change out that fan. Jason can tell you, it starts getting heavy air in there, hard to breathe, and it is not fun. So we've got the fans on the outside. They'll be going right out the window to an HRV, this heat recovery. That HRV will then be pulling the air. The air inside the building will have the HRV putting heat or cool air, coolness back into the air. It will then go into our pre-treatment room, and our pre-treatment room will have air conditioning, heat, and swamp coolers, so that if we need, like, if the air conditioner will take the humidity out of the air and make it cooler, and then the swamp cooler will put humidity back into the air and make it cooler. So that is how we're changing things up. What is the most important ventilation equipment for a nursery room? Did you also need a humidifier or air conditioner for an isolated room with sufficient air intake and exit? So again, a bed that's going to be dependent on if you're talking about nursery, you must be talking about incubation. So ventilation for your incubation would be your fan. I mean, you want to take air out and put fresh air back in, and then you want to be able to cool that air. You're not really worried about humidity. In fact, you want low humidity in your incubation room. So you just want to be able to keep it down to about 70 degrees in your incubation. I try to fruit at 70 to 75 and incubate at 70 to 75 and fruit at 60 to 65. Chick, you freaking rock, is what Mike Mama says.
Down.
Wayne says, I am trying the alfalfa method. Will let you know. Please do, and take photos, which I know you take a lot of photos.
So you just want lines and all lines and just like white lines for a black shirt? He'll give me details, then I can switch it and send it to you real quick. Sorry.
You're fine. Saltine says, good to know. Thanks.
Sawdust.
You're very welcome, man. Garden question. Hey, what do you guys think about interplanting veggies with spent mushrooms by using the spent mushroom bags? Jane, we do it all the time. We take I've actually got a video on it. What?
Got a picture.
We have our raised beds are where our spent blocks go. We do not always wait for them to compost. We'll plant in between the chunks of freshly spent substrate, and it works beautifully. Thomas says, I'm trying alfalfa now, even going to try and see what happens. So some softwood pellets, just because hardwood pellets aren't around here in the summer. Very interesting, Thomas. Are you talking about like Douglas fir? Is that what you're using as softwood, or is there a specific like tulip poplar or something. Steve says, "What's up? What's up, Steve?" I bet. What happens if the air goes out, the heat exchange decreases, and the humidity decreases for a day? Will the fungus be damaged? So yes and no. It's going to depend on the degree of change. If all of your humidity leaves for an entire day, yeah, you could absolutely have like your pens might abort. If your airflow completely shuts off, you might get really stemmy mushrooms. In the fruiting room, it's really good to have your parameters set and have them cycle often because changes will change the phenotype, the look of your mushroom, and the texture and everything else very, very much. Hey, chick, where do I meet you? Do I?
On Instagram.
Oh, you guys are going on Instagram? So you're doing the ventilation like I did? Yes, basically, Michael Mama. Yeah, I mean, that's what I was telling you when you and I had the consult, was that are you guys doing the opposite side like I am? The opposite side to what? But yes, we are doing the ventilation much like yours, where we have a pre-treatment room to humidify. Like our humidifier will be in the grow room again this time, but everything else will be outside the grow room, even the ventilation fan. Any mushroom farmers out there building beds for clients as part of their business and something they can do during COVID lockdown? Oh, like you talking about like straight up mushroom beds, like bluet beds and things like that, wine cap beds? Because that I am not, but that's a great idea. It's a really good idea. Michael Mama says I'm on Instagram, so I guess you've already got that. I have lots of demands for people wanting wine cap beds to save the bees. I can dig that. I love wine cap. Wine cap is really easy to grow outdoors, and it's pretty consistent at fruiting twice a year. You can plant plants with it, and it makes the mushrooms grow even better. So, and the plants grow even better. So yeah, it's a win-win as far as I'm concerned. Yeah, fir pellets. Okay, Thomas. So yeah, Douglas fir and alfalfa absolutely works as a combo. I've talked to a few people using it now. Nada playing with different types of shrooms. Nada playing. What's nada mean? Nada. I'm building some outdoor beds now. I got my truckload of all hardwood mulch today. Nice. Where'd you end up getting it, Jason? Because I know Charles was giving you a hard time. We've been. I was about to call my cousin McKinley and see if he would dump some off for us, and then if he would, I was going to see if he'd dump some off for you.
Yeah. So on the inner planning split mushroom blocks with veggies, okay, I've got to work on this. My mama sent this to me today, and if you turn down your light, you can see. Okay, so there's the mushrooms with the plant. Ta-da!
Is that a pepper plant?
Yeah.
No.
She's going to be mushroom growing right beside of it.
Cool.
But she picked it, and the pepper plant is still going. So
Nice. Wayne says, just inoculated 2 12.5 pound bags yesterday with gray dove. I will take pictures and send them shortly. Awesome, man. Thank you. What is the best mixture of oyster mushrooms if we have straw, hay, and sawdust? And also the best mix of shiitake mushrooms from those materials, and the sawdust should not be smooth. The sawdust cannot be smooth? Or are you asking if it should be smooth? It can be smooth. I mean, ours is a fine particle. The best mixture for oyster mushrooms, if you have straw, hay, and sawdust, would be, I would think, a 1 to 20 mix of hay and straw. And then you could just throw a little bit of sawdust in there and then try to hydrate to 60%. There's a lot of math you're going to have to do there and a little bit of testing, but or, I mean, you can just soak it in a bag and then drain it. And then once it's drained, it's pretty well saturated. So, and then shiitake, yeah, I would do a lot more. I would try sawdust and hay, and you're going to have to play with the hay amount because I don't know what the exact amount's going to be for you. I'd have to look up what kind of hay it was, what the nitrogen content of that would be, and do a bunch of formulas on that, which you can go Google how to figure out nitrogen content of whatever, and it'll give you all kinds of stuff on how to do it. Not growing anything, but what I eat, everything is shut down, of course. Yeah, Steve. Yeah, man, the shutdown's kind of affected a lot of people. I'm still growing quite a bit. We've got CSAs. We just started our own CSA that's on our website now. Thankfully, my income took a dip, but our fresh mushrooms kept selling for a long time. We've had, like I said, CSAs. We've had some restaurants that are still ordering regularly. It was enough for us to keep on going on. Not enough to have everyone working full time all the time. But the website has been staying steady. The website's picked up. Our fresh mushroom sales have shot through the roof this week. And then, like I said, we started the new CSA for ourselves, and some other restaurants have picked up. So it's definitely a weird thing. I thought it would be shut down a lot longer than what things are, or I thought shutdown might be more painful than what it is. But it's actually been all right. And our website, of course, buffered us compared to other people. A lot of, because we've got our strains and everything else, and people have decided to grow at home. We've been able to help them with that. And that buffered me where I didn't have to go desperate and do home deliveries, which I was very much against, because home deliveries is a good way to run around town and not make a lot of money doing it. So, you can make money doing it, but you got to hustle and a lot of fancy footwork. And when you count wear and tear on your car and all kinds of other things on top of it, I just didn't think it was going to be worth it. And so, thankfully, like I said, the website buffered us to where we were actually able to take our time and build out infrastructure that is going to help us a little bit easier. So help us do the transition to direct sales a lot easier. Great idea, Brett. I know a lot of beekeepers and love my wine caps. Yeah, man, I love wine caps, and I haven't thought about hitting the beekeeper crowd, but I know a few of those. Be morel hunting soon, or at least I thought I was. Lol, getting a snowstorm right now. Yeah, man, we had morel season popped up here right at the height of the lockdown, so I didn't have anywhere to move them. So it was the first year I could have actually bought and sold morels in 4 years, and any real amount, and it just market took a dive for the wild mushrooms. Intake in left corner and outtake in the right, or vice versa. So Michael Mama, we're only doing an outtake. So the vent pulls air out, and then it just gets pulled through the doors. So it is on the opposite end of the doors, but we don't have a fan pushing air in. Lol, not a lol, not doing anything. Lol. Nada means not doing anything. Gotcha. If it's fish, mulch and more. I would take more if you can. Yeah, I'll ask McKinley if he'll bring it, man. He owns a tree company around here. I had a plan to become the Johnny Appleseed of mushrooms. I was going to go out in the woods and infect some trees and roots so people can enjoy them. Apparently, it's illegal in my state. Really? I did not know that it would be illegal in your state. I'll need to look that up to see if it's illegal in Tennessee. Don't think that it is, but even if it is, you want to be careful what you're inoculating stuff with. You don't want to inoculate with honey mushrooms or something like that, but oysters and stuff aren't terribly parasitic. Hoping this shutdown of restaurants ends soon. Yeah, me too, Steve. I agree wholeheartedly. I hate this lockdown. And Jason says it's only illegal if you get caught. I don't know if that's technically true. I was going to say that's technically true, but I don't actually know if it is. First-time grower, testing market in West Tennessee, Electric Farms. Love your videos. Wow, I like your name, man. Electric Farms, that's a good one. Thank you, Garrett. I hope you find this useful. Let's see. Steve says I'm no hustler. Well, you get hungry enough, I guess everyone's a hustler. Is the air conditioner a replacement for the fresh air intake fan? No, the air conditioner is not a replacement for the fresh air intake or intake fan. The air conditioner is just cooling the air that is being brought in. How are the new strains doing? I miss seeing the babies every day. Well, the breeder bags, Jason, have all gotten chucked. I'm about to start some more. But first, I'm going to end up like, man, it's getting too much to try to do those breeder bags and do the actual fruiting tests and the data collection and the pictures and the everything else. So right now, man, we're just running out the trials. But yeah, man, as soon as all this stuff clears up and you and your autoimmune system family can spare you, yeah, man, come on back and get see those babies because there's a lot about to hit even more. And I'm sure you've seen them going up on the website and stuff. So, huh?
I want to beat her.
You're gonna beat her. What's Michael Mama doing to you?
She's being hard on herself.
Being hard on herself. Michael Mama, don't be hard on yourself. Let's see. Or work alongside. Yeah, it works alongside the fresh air intake. Love the smell of honey mushrooms that have been dehydrated. I don't know that I've ever smelled them dehydrated. I do like honey mushrooms. I like growing them, mainly because of how wicked cool they look.
Make me toy money.
But that's pretty much. So, what?
These mushrooms are something to keep me busy and make me toy money. I understand.
And make me toy money. Gotcha.
The toy money. I get it.
Yeah. The mushroom business made enough money to buy Samantha her drawing tablet and computer so that she could start doing the digital art and logos and things for people, which is now.
My grandmother matched it, otherwise I would never been able to afford it.
Well, that's not necessarily true.
Well,
it just would have taken us longer.
It would have taken longer. Because you have to know me, I don't like to spend on myself. So
she does not like to spend on herself at all. Let's see. Done much with hemp stalk. Garrett, I have not. Hemp only recently became legal in Tennessee, and I have not had the opportunity to really meet and work with a hemp farmer because I think you have to get licensed still to grow it here. Rules only apply on the witness stand. Jason, you think a bit like I do, I think. You have to be careful with too much AC because AC draws humidity out of the air. Absolutely. That's why we're putting in the swamp coolers. Because like it'll dry out the air and the swamp coolers will buffer that air and then the humidifier will finish it back off. Mushrooms are something to keep me busy and make me toy money. Absolutely. Mushrooms made me the money that got me the cameras, that got me the ability to start working and making videos for you guys. And then that started paying off. And then those things got me money to start getting lab equipment, to start doing even cooler things, of which I then get to make videos of so that you guys will spend more money on me so that I can do even cooler things for you.
Like feeding the bees to feed the bees to bees.
That's right.
The bees.
It's a self-feedback loop, a positive self-feedback loop.
So I gave it white lines, Mama. Mama. No,
Nobody can
it's all
see
white. And you can't see it.
Oh, it's legitimately all white. Okay.
Hmm.
Like chocolate coffee. Love the smell of honey mushrooms have been dehydrated, like chocolate coffee. Oh, then I'm going to need to grow some out and dehydrate them and try it. Jason says, I need to buy some spawn and liquid cultures. Let me know when and where, Jason. Whatever you need, man, we'll figure it out for you. And Saltine says, Jason needs some spawn and liquid cultures. Thanks, Saltine. Dried amarilla smell as sweet as they taste. Can't wait to forge the massive honey flush as we get in Upper Michigan. Man, you guys are getting me sold. If you guys ever grown them and watched the tentacles grow, in liquid culture, it looks wicked. Like like a floating mat with a bunch of crazy spiky looking tentacles growing off of it. Put a light behind that stuff. It looks spooky. And then in the bags, it'll grow tentacles out on agar too. But if you grow it in the bags and you get those huge tentacles like searching through the bag, oh man, it looks wicked. In fact, I'm gonna have to do a video on that. Yeah, thank you. Did I hear you say something about growing honeys? Well, Anthony, you just did now, at least. Garrett says, want some to play. I don't know, man. Are you in Tennessee? Can I get hemp stock from you? I really want to be careful with the legality of this. I don't want to get in trouble. But yeah, I mean, I would absolutely try it out and grow on it and see what happens. I'd make for a decent video. I didn't know we can grow them, but they grow all over a stump in my lawn. Yeah, man, and clone it. Wild strains of it are awesome. Can't wait to see that video. Well, keep following, and it's going to be a while. It's going to be weeks, if not months, because it takes, time for me. I'll have to get a culture because I don't have my old culture of honeys anymore. And I don't remember which one did the best tentacles. One of them, there's a couple different honey mushroom strains, and one of them produced better tentacles than the other. So I'll have to get them, test them out, see which one produces the best tentacles, then grow it out into spawn, and then grow it out into the mushroom bags. So I'll get it for sure. We'll see that. And thank you, Amy. Yeah. Dude, I am on that. Hey man, yeah, if you do, send me that culture, man. I love growing new stuff. Ron says they destroy trees here. Yeah, they destroy trees everywhere. The thing about honeys is that a lot of people say, don't grow them. They destroy trees and things like that. And they are right. They call them meadow makers for a reason. But most of the time, it's like you could dump spawn outside all day, and it is really unlikely to spread. It's really unlikely to survive. If you grow them in the grow room, they don't spore much. And even if they do, honey mushroom spores are already all over the woods. They're not as deadly as people think. It's just when they go rampant out of control, they're super deadly. But they're not as commonly deadly as a lot of people think. They usually attack sick trees before they attack really healthy trees. Bed says, should the... What?
I don't know, but it just got hot in here.
You got hot in here. That's because you're in here with me.
Thanks.
Should the air exhaust fan be at the bottom or the top of the room during the ventilation of the room? I bet I do mine at the top because we put our fog out at the top of the room. The fog drifts and falls, and then at the end of the room, it gets sucked back up. So it kind of it allows the fog to stay a little higher up in the room. Anthony says we dry them every year. Man, I'm going to be on that, though. I have to be careful. We've been dehydrating mushrooms like crazy, like I said, and my lungs have been like going crazy from doing it in our kitchen. So I moved the dehydrator outside because, oh crap, we need to replace the mushrooms in that, by the way. But comb tooth especially spores tear my lungs up. So I've gotten so sensitive to mushroom spores that it's unreal. I will send you my wild honeys with the lion's mane if you want it. Yeah, Michael Mom, if you have wild honey strains, absolutely. Please send them to me. Send me it with the lion's mane and the other stuff you're sending me. Like I said, I'll cold storage it for you. If your house ever burns down or anything else like that, I'll have your strains for you. Garrett Todd says, yes, no problem. Good. What's up, brother? Middle Georgia mushroom down in Macon, Georgia. Macon, right out of Atlanta, huh? Financially, what was the turning point that brought you out of the house to the warehouse? Financially, that's kind of a hard question to answer because it wasn't really financially a decision. I'm actually making a fair amount of profit out of my house, keeping my costs low. It was a space thing. We could afford it. And then we could justify it with Ben starting up his own thing. Ben had some things that he had to do that tied up funds until recently. And now he has had a lot of that freed up. So I'm not the only one in the warehouse. Ben has got his fabrication shop going in the warehouse as well. And it's going to allow us to do a lot of cool experimental stuff. We've talked about a lot of equipment designs for years that we're actually going to start implementing. We'll start selling that stuff. We've been wanting to become a supplier for you guys for a lot of things for a long time. So the warehouse was really we could justify it because we weren't the only ones going in on it. And it's 6,000 square feet, not counting the mezzanine, not counting the basement. And only $1,250 a month. So it just, though we wouldn't have found it if we hadn't already been looking for warehouse space. So the truth is we wanted to get into a bigger place. We were having to be every time we turned around, we were having to move one project to start another project, just to come downstairs to move that project to finish the other project to finish the bagger.
So much time.
Yeah.
We were getting so frustrated. And then we would go do a project, and the other person's project would be in the way.
Yeah, it was just too much. So it was a financial thing, I guess, in that we could afford it for a little bit longer than what we were wanting to get one for, or for a little bit longer than what we were justifying it for. But then whenever Ben was like, okay, I'm ready to start Man of War, then he started that and started building the baggers, and we just went with it. So we're going. And that's really what it came down to. But also, we just couldn't grow any more mushrooms in the place that we were at. We legitimately had thrown away all the personal stuff we were willing to throw away to make room for the business. And now we're gutting this place, and it feels empty downstairs. It feels empty. Like every time you turn around, we shut down one of the grow rooms downstairs, about to move everything over to the warehouse and shut down the other grow room. And I mean, we just legitimately could not grow another pound of mushrooms in this place. And that was the turning point. Hi, this is, oh my gosh, I don't know that I can pronounce that. Thalanil? I am so sorry for butchering your name. I'm sure I did. What's up, bro? Much love from Seattle. What's up, Ocean? Hey, did you get your liquid cultures and stuff, man? You liking those? In fact, I think you emailed me that you did. My bad. I do remember that now. Sport lung keeps the corona away. Is that right? Then I guess I better go downstairs and breathe deep.
Oh my goodness, no.
The humongous fungus. Isn't it genetically across a huge patch of the country? Yeah, if you're talking about the largest living organism on the planet is the honey mushroom, but it exists in almost every temperate zone in the world. So if you consider that one patch in a place that is infecting a colony of trees that all share the same genes, it's pretty extraordinary that it if it was as vicious as everybody thought, it's pretty extraordinary that it only took over that one place where that one tree may have had a genetic weakness to it, or an environmental issue that weakened those trees. So it is absolutely across, I think it's like 2 miles. I think it's like maybe 2 miles across and 1 mile the other direction. So it's a pretty big organism. And it's like 2,000 years old. It was here whenever, it was here before Christianity was founded, I guess, or right about the same time period. So it's pretty crazy. Thanks for being patient, my friend. But you're very welcome, man. I wish I could help you a little bit better. I feel like there's probably a language barrier here for us. Yeah, I think that's really what it is that there's kind of a language barrier. And I'm not entirely sure what you're asking. I'm trying to read into the words that I'm seeing it just kind of, you're talking like this and I'm talking like this and we're hitting like that. So we're getting the gist. And you're very welcome. I'm always happy to help. Hey, Seth, welcome to the chat, man. Dan Delaney, are you breeding the Black Pearl strain? And if so, to what? So, Dan, I have bred the Black Pearl to itself. And it is the only mushroom I have ever tried to breed that didn't produce anything. In fact, I was thinking about doing a video on it, and then we threw the bags out, and I forgot to do the video. So I might do it again. But it didn't produce a single mushroom. We waited for like months. Excuse me. We waited for like months, and it didn't produce a thing, a lump, a primordia, anything. So I am beginning to wonder if it truly is a hybrid and if it may be sterile. I did do a spore print, and there are spores coming off of it, but my understanding of hybrids is not that they can't produce, sperm cells, basically, or germ cells is what I meant to say. But it's not that they can't produce germ cells. It's that those germ cells are incompatible. So it may actually be a hybrid between Austriatus and Orangi, which if that's the case, that's flipping exciting. I still want to get someone to do a DNA analysis on it. Ben rocks. Hell yeah, he does. 100 proof. I feel that pain. Which pain? Sorry, the chat delay makes it a little bit difficult for me to read sentences like that and know what they're talking about. Any plans to add the black poplar to the website? Yes. Yes. So I'm doing a bunch of trials on different black poplar strains to figure out the one that I like the best. There is an obscure strain out of a nowhere place that I grew years ago, and it was the most amazing black poplar I've ever grown and tasted, and no black poplar has ever tasted the same since. And I recently got that strain, and I've now bred that strain back and forth, and I'm hoping, at least because black poplar is a little bit different, that I've got something that I really like that I want to share with you guys. If you want, I can add black poplar strains that I like to the website in the liquid culture section. If you want me to go ahead and get those out, I can. The parents of this strain. And if you guys like, I can get the other stuff going fairly soon, as soon as the test is over. Speaking of tests, I don't know if you guys have noticed, but the Cool Touch came out. It is indeed a white mushroom with a blue edge, and that's on the website now in liquid culture. And then we had a new one called the Mother of Pearl Oyster that Samantha and Laura both kind of named. And that mushroom, oh my gosh, guys, I am so flippin' impressed with it. I wish I'd done a video on it, but I didn't have time that day, so I just took pictures. But this thing produced it was over 3 pounds every cluster. And more than a few clusters were 3.5 pounds first flush. It grows like a gold oyster. Sorry, what?
So it was really neat.
It was neat. It's beautiful. The caps look pearlescent.
It has this
sheen to it.
It does, and it's really strange. And it's not because it's wet.
Right. So you guys
could not capture it on camera. We tried.
We tried, yeah. But you guys know how indigo, people used to wash whites with indigo because that blue made the white look whiter. That's the way this strain is. And one of its parents is a blue oyster.
You nailed it, yeah.
I nailed it? Yes, I nailed it. So
yeah.
This thing, it's crazy. The weight on it is incredible. It grows in habit like a gold oyster, except the stems are really soft. So it's got a billion caps that are just flexible and beautiful and not super fragile. Lots of stems that are very, very soft. A core that it grows off of. It is so white with a tint of blue that you can't perceive, but you know it's there. It's the most incredible oyster I've ever grown. It's the most incredible oyster I've ever grown. And I made it. I'm so excited about that. Anyways, that one's on the website too. I haven't done a big announcement about it yet. I would like to do a video on it, but it's going to be a while because it just went through the test, which means I have to restart the strain and do it again. But it's easily my favorite oyster of all time so far. And it grew at 70 degrees, but was bred from 2 strains that were growing about 50 degrees, which tells me that it's probably going to have a pretty wide growth range. So, all right. Now that you guys got my geek going, and I geeked out for a second, so forgive me. Let's see. It would definitely be awesome to see some workshops happen at your new location eventually. So for now, I think I'm going to stick with mentorships. I like the one-on-one. Well, I mean, when I do mentorships, I've been doing 2 or 3 people at a time, a lot of times. So here's the thing. Like I said, on the mentorships, it's $1,000 for the week-long course. But you get to bring a +1. I don't care if you bring an extra person. So it's 1 to 3 people I'm letting sign up for it. And then each one gets to bring a +1. And I like that personal interaction with the small groups better. I do want to get some classes, some online classes for you guys, but man, I am so covered up in everything that I'm doing that I really am over my head. I'm a little bit overworked right now. Which is why I slowed way down on the live streams. You guys called it that pace. I couldn't keep up. So I literally had a day where I just crashed and just slept 15 hours. I woke up with the most banging headache I had ever had and just slept forever. it was painful. So I definitely crashed. My only reason to jump into a warehouse would be moving the grow out of my house. Next house, I'll build a grow barn of sorts. I think that's a great idea, Steve. I liked working where I lived, but man, I'm starting to like being able to go to work and then come home and not really work. You know, like I mean, I guess this is work, but this doesn't feel like the same kind of work. I'd sign up for a workshop. Well, Anthony, maybe I should do one, guys. I don't know how far everybody is. How is everybody? Is everybody willing to travel for a workshop? That'd be kind of crazy. Where to ship you box of hemp stalk and goodies? Garrett, my address for my shop is 208 East Old Andrew Johnson Highway, Jefferson City, Tennessee 37760. That's my shop. It's the old co-op for my town. Hi from south of Athens, Georgia. Well, nice. Hey, Steve, welcome. Is that anywhere close to Athens, Tennessee? No. Athens, Tennessee is above Chattanooga. I was thinking that there was an Athens, Georgia close to the border, but maybe I'm wrong. Have you all had any bags pop open? Unicorn makes thicker bags, and a couple of my customers have been using those. So Seth, I haven't had much problem, but I've heard a lot of people who use the automated tumblers like dryers or tumble towers and things like that. They've been having bags pop. I'd be interested in trying some thicker bags though, because we do have them pop occasionally. Jason and Laura can tell you that, but it's not as bad as what a lot of people have. But when I brought in the dryer to make a tumbler, Jason definitely had some concerns. So what's up, Tony? Welcome to the chat. Hey, me and the lady are starting a farm in middle Minnesota, all because of you guys and Paul Stamets. Thank you. I appreciate that. I hope I wasn't. Part of me wants to say I really hope I was a large part of that inspiration, and then part of me wants to go, man, I really hope I was just a small part of that inspiration. I'm not entirely sure, but thank you very much. I really appreciate that. What's up, Yagdrasil? Welcome to the chat. I haven't seen you on BattleNet much, Yagdrasil, so I haven't had a chance to send you a play request. So you and I must be jumping on at different times. Should have kept and tested for CO2 output. Could be good for CO2 bags for grows. Crap. Kept what? Congrats, Trade. Which, by the way, I like that name. Trade Prince Galwix. It reminds me of the Rus. The Rus are like one of my favorite stories of all time, but the Vikings going over to Russia, which I guess wasn't Russia at the time, but they're becoming the merchant princes, the grand princes. That's always just blown my mind. I want to be a merchant prince. Have you tried planting a button mushroom? Cultivating it is expensive and difficult, isn't it? I have never tried buttons because they are so inexpensive to purchase fresh, and the big guys do it so well that there's just not been any reason for me to do that. If we wanted, could we collectively put together money to have 2 or 3 strains tested? Yeah, probably. You mean like DNA analysis done? We probably could. We would need to identify a lab. I've got a few people I could talk to about that. In fact, with the Odin class, I need to get on that. I'm over, like I said, I'm way behind on everything. But through that, I do have contact to my teachers in that class, and they probably know a lot of people as well. So we could probably pull some money together and have strains tested in batches, because it is cheaper to do it in batches. That oyster you created sounds fun. Thanks, Garrett. Yeah, that thing it's killer. It is. Oh, you're gonna get me going again. Sorry, I'm gonna have to calm down. Dan Delaney, fresh from the farm fungi, is doing a YouTube series on breeding mushrooms. He has the Black Pearl trials on it. Check it out. I will absolutely check it out. I want to see that. I would like to see if he's fruited any, because I got it to grow out perfectly. It grew in very well. It just would not fruit. Many, many different strains of it just would not fruit. Mossy, I have a question. If a agar culture is thin and one is thick, does it mean the thin culture is it weak? No, it does not mean that. This is from the same strain. Did you sector it at all, or like is this 2 different sectors of mycelium that you found and then propagated? No, thin mycelium does not necessitate weak mycelium. Mushrooms have a lot more than just physical mycelium as what they as their defense mechanisms or their aggressiveness or anything else. I mean, think of lion's mane comb tooth; they're very thin. Pathfinder is a very wispy looking mushroom when it grows, but it's incredibly aggressive. So the answer is no, it does not necessitate that. What's up, Mossy Creek? Looking forward to getting a couple bulk syringe packs tonight or tomorrow. Hey, Michael, it sounds great. Did you already put in your order, or are you saying you're going to put in an order? Because I definitely pulled some syringes tonight for people's orders. And if you get it in tonight, if you haven't put in an order yet, then get it in tonight, because I will be putting together cultures tomorrow and then shipping Saturday. If you want them quick. I mean, otherwise the next week's shipment will work. So Samantha's wanting to show off.
Got this one. All white lines.
Oh my gosh, why does it look backwards? Is that backwards? Still have mushrooms. No, it's normal. Wow, does that reverse it? It does reverse it. Look at it. It's mirrored. Yeah.
And then
just now
I
figured it out.
made one with white letters. So.
Oh, I like the other letters better.
You know what? Those lines look too thick. They don't look too thick on here. What is up with that?
I don't know. I like that.
That's weird. Maybe turn my distance.
But Dan Delaney, the Gary over at Fresh from the Farm, I need to get in contact with that guy. I've talked to him a few times on Instagram and stuff, but dude, some serious shit. I like that guy. I like what he's doing, at least I should say. We haven't met, so I don't know if I like him personally, which I'm sure that I will. He seems like a perfectly nice guy. But guy knows his stuff, and he's doing a lot. And I should absolutely see if he's willing to do some work with me, because there's no sense in us both working the same path when we could be working together. That's actually so. There's something else that you guys may be interested in. I am putting together a database, and Ben's got to help me and some other people. I've got a friend who's a programmer. I'm hoping he'll help me put a lot of this stuff together, because I don't know how to do it. But I want to start taking commonly cultivated strains and growing them out in my conditions, and hopefully do an open source kind of concept where you guys grow them out in your conditions, and then we self-report. And this way, because I was going to build the database and just do it all myself and be like, well, I grew them in this time, and it was take all this data, and here's the data available to you people who may want to use that strain or other strains like it. But then it ended up being, someone mentioned to me that what I ought to do is open it up to people and have, it was on Instagram, I think I was talking about. No, it was on Facebook, in the Moss Back Mushroom Syndicate group that we have. By the way, you guys should join that if you haven't. But on Facebook, that was, he said, why don't we open it up? That way you can open source it and you're not doing all the work yourself. And I thought, man, that's great, because it's also, then I get peer reviewed.
Yeah.
So we get peer review stuff. So if one person has an outlier, somebody else can go through and test it, and we can self-report the data. I think that it would be great to do that.
Yeah.
I do think that it needs to be controlled somehow. Like, there needs to be some sort of only a few people in it at first, the database building, not just anyone and everyone, because you might get trolls on there just like typing whatever over multiple accounts. But I think there's a way that we could do that. So
Make sure that the people who are in are like approved. That way you're not getting
yes,
like buddies that are trying to, how it happens in actual scientific papers where, I thought you.
Tell me it's not again. Tell her to refresh it. Tell Michael Mama to refresh it, because it's not happening on mine.
Okay.
So what happened was, a while back we got hacked, and I'm going to check it on the incognito window too, but we got hacked with some phishing like link and stuff installed. We immediately fixed it. Now it's working on the incognito as well. And so we had to go through and get Google verified again. Before we got Google verified, there were all kinds of like messages coming up like, hey, don't buy from these people or don't visit this unsafe site, that kind of stuff. We got it fixed. Everything's great. But it kind of hurt us a little bit. And people who see that need to like refresh sometimes because otherwise it's just going through their shortcut. Looking on your website, I'm not seeing the mother of pearl oyster. Is it in liquid culture or culture plate? It should be in both, Brett. It's definitely there. I can't link it in the chat. You might look up mother of pearl oyster mushroom, mossycreekmushrooms.com on Google, or Mossy Creek Mushrooms, and that might come up. But it's definitely on there. I've had people buying it, so. And I would link it for you just immediately. And if you have a problem, just let me know. Email me at mossycreekmushrooms@gmail.com. And then I'll link it through the email for you. Yeah. Thank you. It's close to the border of Florida. Okay, Athens, Georgia is, so way far away from me. Jenny O'Brien. Hey, guys. Thanks for the cultures. Hey, Jenny. Thank you for purchasing them. I hope you enjoy them. And Seth says he'll send us some thicker bags to try. Thank you, Seth. I'd really appreciate that. That would be nice to try.
I'll get some more stickers and stuff made so we can send them out.
Oh, yeah. So, guys, everyone who buys a bulk kit of any sort gets a couple of stickers that we've been sending out. And there's one that's Samantha's artwork. That's the ratio that goes on the back of the T-shirt.
Let me know if you have any suggestions.
Samantha's dying for inspiration and suggestions all the time. So if you guys have anything like, I don't know, a squirrel throwing an acorn grenade that blows up into mushrooms or something. I don't know if she'd like that or not, but that's my idea.
What'd you say?
A squirrel that's throwing an acorn grenade that blows up in mushrooms.
That sounds awesome.
It does sound awesome. See?
Oh, wow.
And Samantha likes frogs.
I knew that.
She should do a frog version of me. That'd be a cool sticker. I could be a frog. I want to be a bullfrog. Those would have that nice deep
like
bass. Let's see. Yagger, so normally I'm trying to get on. It varies, man, because honestly, the past 3 weeks I've not been able to play much because I've been working from sun up to way past dark. But I've usually been trying to get in the evening, like early evening. Something says the Beaker people. Beaker people? What Beaker people? Listen, I would love to talk to you about an all-weekend mush event. I was going to talk to you about it before my corona started. A really good idea about a camping-style event. Michael Mama, this sounds interesting. Yeah, get with me on that. That sounds cool. We were supposed to go to one up in Illinois in April, and I was really excited to go talk to this yeast culturing guy. And we ended up not being able to go to that. So because of all this lockdown stuff. I think it got canceled. Athens, Georgia is an hour due east of Atlanta, home of B-52s and REM. Nice. The Love Shack is a little old place where
So Beaker
we
folk,
can get
late
to
Neolithic, early Bronze Age people? I must be.
Beaker people.
Beaker people.
I have a huge collection of wild mushroom LC. Well, Steve, if you like that kind of stuff, man, you let me know. I've got some wild stuff that's pretty fantastic. The turtle song's a good one. I'm here for Master Moss to geek out. Thank you, Jerome. I appreciate it. Though I'm hardly a master. Who else is excited for our new Dune movie? Man, I'm excited about Dune. I don't know. I don't think they're going to be able to pull it off. I don't think it can be pulled off. I will go see it. It is the first third of the book. So if they break it up that way, they might be able to take the time to get it right. But the problem is, how do you get Dune? Beaker people is what he said. How do you get Dune, which is such an amazing book, but really boring film, to be exciting? I thought the miniseries back in, was it the early 2000s, was nice. It wasn't great, but it was nice. Steve says, Iowa, bro. Oh, upstate New York. Gotcha. Can't wait to see Dune. Yeah, Anthony, Jason, I absolutely agree. The spice must flow.
What I'm seeing is Neolithic farmers.
So Beaker people is Neolithic farmers. Interesting. Great to see you all on here again. Found an AI 305 HIM for $75 because the magnet wasn't working. Took a chance, got it Tightened one screw by switch near the hinge works great. Now, that's awesome. That is a hell of a deal. Salty says, Blackbeard, Edward Teach used to braid ribbons into his beard. You should braid moss into your beard to fit the...
Yes.
Yes.
Awesome. Okay, I can do that.
So just so you know, I started like working on growing moss now. So not growing moss on me. And by the way, my truck has got like moss and lichens growing on it in different places that I refuse to I wash around those. My truck will be covered in moss by the time I'm done. I will drive around in a thick carpet of moss.
Go get moss and put it in a blender and spray his vehicle with it. Just like
yes.
Your face is awesome.
Man, you guys are blowing my mind tonight. Michael Mama, I'm interested in the camping event as well. I'm in Middle Georgia and can assist in any way. That's Hunter Pruitt. Lol, it snowed here too, slowing morels, and the main family on my road are Dingman. Lol, thought you might be close.
And Saltine Cracker, I will credit you for that idea.
There you go. Tonight I'll place it in a couple of minutes. Okay, that sounds good, Michael. I'm not trying to rush you or anything. I just wanted to let you know if you wanted to get them out earlier rather than later. Michael Mama says, you freaking rock. Thank you, Michael Mama. I appreciate it. Unless you're talking to Samantha, in which case I do still appreciate it. Just tell me more good things about Samantha, I guess. P.S. Thanks to House of Hydro for the replacement discs. Code Mossy. Yeah, man. John will set you guys up. This is the one thing. They do have a learning curve. Ultrasonics have a learning curve, for sure. Don't just give up on them the first or second time they go out on you. Talk to Dave. Talk to John. Get it right. There is a skill to using these things, and he will absolutely take care of you guys. He's got some of the best customer service I've ever seen on this planet. So there are family for sure. Lots of family out east. Oh, I got you. So you guys, it's a small world, I guess. I like the logo for Myco Mama. Yeah, Wayne, I do too, man. That dinosaur, I like that very much. Wow, just saw the notification. Love the open source idea. Thank you, Campbell. I appreciate that, man. Maybe you can join in. Lots about you too in Canada. Lots above you too in Canada. Oh, Dingman's? Wait, what is that? Is that English? How aggressive is your new oyster? Would it do good in a grass pile outside? I don't have any data on that, Garrett. It grew in quickly. But that doesn't mean that it's going to grow great on grass. We could try it. We absolutely could try it.
We got plenty of grass to mow.
We do. So here's the thing. It always takes forever for anyone to mow our yard. Anyone, ever. And the other day, I came in and I told my son to get off the Xbox. And then I told him that as of right now, his Xbox privileges were suspended until the yard was mowed. This was an experiment I was trying. I have never seen that yard get mowed so quick in my entire life. It was done in like an hour. I didn't know it was possible to mow. He was going light speed. You could barely see him. He was just teleporting from one side to the other, and the grass was gone.
I'll say you look out in the yard, and there's like little twigs.
There are little. I don't care about that. I just don't want the cops called on me for having 12-foot grass, you know?
It wasn't even close to
I know, Samantha. I'm playing.
I got you.
I have a farm in South America and have interested in starting a mushroom operation and sold a light to know the relation between substrate and mushroom output in tropical conditions. Robert, I'm sorry, man, but you're talking to the wrong guy. I can give you thoughts on it, but that's the most I can do for you. I don't have any real experience with this. Honestly, the only person I know of that has real experience with this would be Trad Cotter. That's because he grew in Haiti and places like that. And his book, I can't remember Trad Cotter's book all of a sudden. Yeah, I can't remember. Samantha will get it to you, man. But yeah, that's.
I remember a lot of things lately.
Yeah, it's crazy. So set up a verification process. Yes, I agree. Absolutely. Your database idea sounds incredible. Thank you, Brett. I appreciate that. Yeah, I want a verification process. I want to vet people before they join, but I do want a database, and I want it to be the data to be open to the public. I don't want to like hoard that stuff. I'm trying to grow the black pearl and was wondering how long it usually takes to pin after putting in the grow room. Been a week in the grow room and no pins. Pathfinders and others have pinned already. So honestly, if your Pathfinder's pinned already, that's pretty fast. If they've been less than 7 to 10 days, I always give mushrooms 7 to 10 days to pin. The black pearl absolutely does take a little bit longer than your faster oyster strains. So, Robin, that database is an amazing idea. It would be so helpful. Okay, Robin. Yeah, right now I'm working on the protocols. As soon as I get the protocols done, we'll be able to start moving forward on that. We can do that. We build databases for Office Depot and their partners. My husband will email you. Thank you, Jenny. That would be great. Heck yeah. Thank you. mossacreekmushrooms@gmail.com, please.
So Track Cotter's book is called Organic Mushroom Farming and Microremediation. Is that the one you're
Organic
talking about?
mushroom farming and microremediation. Yeah, that's it. So who was that earlier? Robert Mai. Robert, check out that book. I know he's got some data in that. And I lent that book out to someone. I've never got it back, so I can't even show you my copy because I don't have a copy anymore. But
this is what the
that's what it
cover
looks like
looks
there,
like.
yeah. It is a pretty decent book. It's not my favorite mushroom growing book, but it's a good one. We'll need a moderated style. Perhaps people can submit the data in a given format. Someone adds into the database a different page to highlight outliers. That's interesting, Campbell. I really would love to have somebody working with me or for me that has a real scientific background. I'm not a trained scientist. I just read about stuff and pick up on it and do my best. But data collection is one of my weak spots, and I would love to have someone who's really good at it working with me. My hope is one day, very soon, I'll be able to hire an actual biologist to work alongside me. Athens must be near Valdosta, which is also near the Florida border. Okay, yeah, I only know about Valdosta because of a friend of mine who talks about it, and I don't even think that's the real way to say it. What?
I just looked at you because you looked at me.
Well, I looked at you because you were looking at me.
Oh, well.
Bailing, guys, great chat. See you all next time. See you, Steve. Hopefully you heard me. I would still love to buy a bulk LC kit for Australia. I could pay extra for the inconvenience and assume any risk as an importer. Yeah, Campbell, I meant to get back to you about that, man. I will do it. Email me again, please. We'll set it up. I'll have to do it through PayPal, and I have no idea what the shipping will be. If you pay for maybe you can set the shipping up or something, and then I'll just print off the label and slap it on something. Adam, I'll work on getting you a honey culture. Also, I'll be getting some of those mother of pearl real soon. They sound cool. Got to run now. See y'all next time. Take care, Anthony. Be good, man. 2 horrible bands. I actually like REM, Jason. Awesome. Lichen is, of course, part mycelium. It's true. It is part fungal.
Horrible is in the ear of the hearer.
Horrible is in the ear of the hearer.
Or like.
I don't like that. It's hard to say.
It's like in the eye of the beholder, or I don't know. I was trying to make that work. I don't think it worked, but. Yeah.
Seth, I don't know if you're still listening. You Are What You Eat wants to know if you can get a thicker version of the fungi perfecti bags that are 21 inches extra tall, 5+ pound bags. No, Brett, the mother of pearl is not the Deritter. It is called the mother of pearl. The mother of pearl oyster. The Deritter oyster is a wild strain, not a bred strain by me.
And it was found by one of our friends in Huntington, which is why it has Deritter as the name.
Mm-hmm. The guy who found it was a guy named Deritter. Yeah. At Hunter, get up with me on Facebook. And at Hunter, Jennifer Tallis. Michael Mama says, just in case you guys aren't looking. Robert, Google Docs has a lot of research on different substrates for mushroom production in the subtropics. Hey, that's great. Yeah, Robert, there you go. Google Docs. Thank you, Campbell. Appreciate that. Man, you got a official kind of background, like an academic background of some sort. Track Cotter's book is great. I met him and did a class in Foray with him. Very informational, and he's a great guy. That's cool, man. I've never met him. I've actually, something that I've always wondered is how these other mushroom guys all know each other, because I never seem to get in contact with any of the bigger mushroom guys. It's kind of odd. And I mean, I get it. I'm uneducated. I'm just a poor Southern boy. I get it.
I also haven't gone to a lot of the festivals.
It's true. I don't travel a lot. So I travel for work, and that's pretty much it. So don't go to the festivals. I've been offered speaking engagements. Haven't done that. I might meet more people if I did that. I don't like public speaking. I'm afraid of people in the public setting. When I'm on stage, it's weird. My heart starts like, and then I just go black. So, but no, I'd love to meet Trad Cotter. He's done some research in some ways. Some things I'm very, very interested in. In fact, I'd like to meet just pretty much anyone in the mushroom world. I love all the mushroom players out there. It's there's a lot of people working on a lot of cool things, and there is more to do with fungus than I will ever be able to finish in my lifetime. But I'm going to get as much done of it as I can. So, and not just fungus. I want to work with all kinds of different things. Plants, even lichens, mosses, yeasts. Let's see. Hey, are you practicing to become one of them Vikings or something, or what? Well, Rick, not practicing, and Vikings are all dead. There aren't any more Vikings. But I do like some of their stuff. What?
I don't know.
Something wrong? Okay. Let's see. I checked in the fungi perfected but Unicorn says they can't make those bags for anyone else. That is correct, Seth. I have heard that as well. It is only for fungi perfecti. I think they've got a patent on it that they or that they lease, or maybe they have an agreement just with Unicorn and not a patent. I can't remember now, but I did talk to Unicorn years ago about it. See, I missed a bunch. Steven, that's all right, man. It'll be up. You didn't. I mean, you missed a bit of my pretty face, but not too much more. Do you ever go straight from LC to Sawdust, or do you always go from LC to grain to Sawdust? If so, is it a faster turnaround? So, Lee, I've had problems with liquid culture stalling out on Sawdust a lot. It doesn't always happen, and sometimes it works, and sometimes it doesn't. But grain is almost a sure thing, so it ends up being a really fast way of making grain spawn and rapidly expanding out my cultures into spawn, and then putting that into the fruiting blocks. Trad is in North Carolina, close to you. He does a lot of traveling and teaching. I believe his lady runs the things at home. Olga I've talked to. I've actually talked to Olga a few times. She and I are Facebook friends, and we've discussed different things at different points. I don't know her like personally, just other than side conversations we've had.
I've seen some of her artwork, and I also heard someone stole their mailbox.
Somebody did steal their mailbox. I remember that. She posted
painted
that
their mailbox, and someone stole it.
It's crazy what people will steal.
That's horrible.
But yeah, I want to meet Trad. I've heard he's a good guy. I've heard from a few people that he's a good guy. So, and he's obviously intelligent. Yeah, Trad is cool. He is very funny. Took his online classes and met him and his wife in North Florida in January. Okay. You guys are pushing me too. I might just have to call up and see if I can get a hold of him. Close-ish, anyway. Yeah, isn't he in Liberty, South Carolina? I think it's in South Carolina, but I could be wrong. Robert says, Campbell says, Robert, look up Subtropical Fruit Club of QLD. They have done some subtropical mushroom growing. Or look up effects of different substrates on the growth, yield, and nutritional composition of 2 oyster mushrooms, Pleurotus austratus and Pleurotus cystidiosus. And there's the name, Hi the Ho et al. Andrew, civil engineer. Just looked up lots of paper research until I found your awesome channel. Oh, well, thank you. Still, man, engineers. It's weird. This channel, I get so many engineers calling us and talking to us. I have no idea what our appeal with engineers is. It must be Ben. It must be Ben. It's Ben.
Well, you get to build stuff,
yeah,
grow stuff, and eat stuff, and it just keeps going on.
Well, for sure. And Ben is a very good first principles thinker, and so that's pretty cool. So don't try and cover for REM; they are bad. Okay, I agree, Shiny Happy People is one of the worst songs of all time. I hate that song, but there's so much more to REM than that. Early REM is great. I agree with you, Jerome. I actually do. When they started going a little bit more mainstream, I liked some of their stuff less. I can't listen to REM for long periods, though. My mind wants to scream. So, but you can ask Samantha, Ben, or anyone else. I am not a high-minded music person. I like repetitive beats and thumpings, and sometimes some high squeals that probably don't sound like music to most people. And I have, I don't know, I listen to a fair amount of hip hop. I like a lot of Southern rap.
You're listening to
I like bluegrass.
Everclear earlier?
Everlast. I was listening to Everlast earlier.
Everclear's a
Everclear's a drink. And not a great one. But yeah, anyways.
Names just stick in your head sometimes.
I'm got a pretty wide musical taste. But as far as my everyday listening, I like Run the Jewels. I like Pharaohs. I like some Wu-Tang. I like Nipsey Hussle. I like a lot of stuff in the EDM world. So that kind of stuff. I'm just not a high-minded music person. I never classical music. Oh, it makes my brain want to bleed. I can't take it. But I love bluegrass. Music. I know you like, because you're like your mother.
I love anything with piano and violin.
I do like violin. Let's see. Check out the rest of the catalog, Jason. Yeah, I agree with Jerome. There's a lot more to it, man. Don't judge them on Shiny Happy People. That song sucks. Jenny says engineers, IT people, and farmers have a weird connection. Maybe that's it. Maybe it's because engineers and farmers and IT people get along. It's actually funny. One of my old business partners, who we bought out a while back, but he went and he did the electrical mapping of our building the other day. He is a really awesome guy and one of the best people you'll ever meet, but he is an IT person. But he and Ben get along fantastically. Ben and I sat down the other night. We were just sitting there quiet, just sitting in the dark at the warehouse, watching the cars go by. And all of a sudden, Ben just goes, "You know that Mark guy? I like that Mark guy." And I was like, "Yeah, it's because Mark's awesome." So I'm attracted to veterans, engineers, IT people, farmers, that kind of person. Huh?
I'm going to say Mark is a good one.
Oh, heck yeah, Mark's a good one. He's one of the best ones. I feel like all of those people have a way about them that's kind of a cut through the bullshit kind of attitude. Farmers, you get so used to losing crops. You get so used to losing animals. You get so used, you can ask Samantha.
Very realistic, very adaptive, very...
Yeah. Because,
instead of crying about it, you find a way.
Well, you can't have a lot of BS on your mind because otherwise your mental state will be crashed constantly.
Yeah.
And engineers have to deal with real-world problems. IT people have to deal with real-world problems. Farmers have to deal with real-world problems. Veterans have to deal with incredibly real, everyday, life or death decisions. But I remember raising ducks and geese and chicks and all that kind of stuff. And it was I'd have a favorite one, and that favorite one would always die. And I used to, so to give you an idea of something, one of my mom's favorite stories about me is that one day in kindergarten, I was seeing these two kids. They were stamping on ants, and they were laughing and having fun killing the ants.
Stamping or stomping?
Stamping on. They were stamping on them. They were stamping on them with their feet.
Stomping on them.
They were stomping, stamping. They were stamping, stomping. Anyways, that I was crying. I was yelling at them. I was pushing them, and I was trying to get them to stop. And the teacher asked me, why did I want them to stop? And I was like, because they're God's creatures too, right? I used to be the sweet, sweet, sweet kid that kind of stuff bothered all the time. Since I've started farming, I've kind of become an eviscerator. Not heartless. I've got a big heart. But I understand that stuff has got to be cold and cold a lot in order to make things better. It's actually better for the overall thing. So that was kind of, that's kind of a weird, sappy story, but it's about, farmers having to constantly deal with loss. Engineers and IT people, veterans, and those kind of people always having to deal with that real world potential for loss, at least, if not loss of its own. And in different ways, different forms. Each school leaves its stamp on each person differently. But you can almost always tell a veteran when you see a veteran. And you can almost always tell an engineer when you see an engineer, or talk to one at least. Hey guys, just wanted to say hi. Love your channel and the content coming out of it. Keep up the great work, fam. Also, hairstyle, by the way, bro, swag. Well, thank you very much, I appreciate that. Having trouble getting king oyster to fruit in Florida. Maybe too hot. Yes, heat is most certainly your problem. Jenny says Metallica. Yes, I do like me some Metallica. There's a song, I can never remember the names of their songs. There was a song that I heard one night when I was driving, and I was driving with like 3 or 4 other people. You know how you meet strangers on the road on a long trip, and just all of a sudden it seems like everybody just knows how to drive all of a sudden. And you guys are driving together, and you're with each other for hours on a stretch. I remember that when I first started.
Everyone knows how to drive all of a sudden.
Yeah, like people like they know how to drive with you. There's a flow. Well, it's not like in traffic where you keep coming against, like your flow is constantly being interrupted. Instead, you start getting with people who are like, they're going, like everybody, it's like you're just flying perfect together. And I heard this song, I think it was for Whom the Bell Tolls. I think it was that one. But there's that part where things are kind of going, the guitar's going, and it was just, I remember that feeling like, this is it. The stars have aligned. These are my people. Like, and I was just like, this is the flight of the Valkyries. Like I was just having a great time. So I love me some Metallica for sure. Let's see, what part of Florida, Byron? Trad was on the Mushroom Revival podcast with Alex Dorr this weekend. They have some great episodes. That's very interesting. I'll have to check that out. I haven't listened to Alex in a long time. Ever since his splitting with William.
We've been listening a lot to biologists.
Brett Weinstein and his wife. Oh my goodness. I know her name. I love them.
Right here.
Yeah, these guys are awesome. They're evolutionary biologists. They run the Dark Horse podcast. Freaking love the Dark Horse podcast. Viking folk music is dope. Yes. Danheim. Wardruna. Man, I got to go see Wardruna last year in Red Rocks. It was the first concert I've ever been to. Like the first real concert. Oh my God. Number 1, Red Rocks is amazing. And number 2, Wardruna. It was incredible. I remember.
It's really fun.
I may or may not have had a microdose. And yeah, she's going to be surprised that I said that. But I may or may not have had that. Sitting on the steps of the rocks, right? Where Druna's playing, it's dark, the rocks are lit up, and I remember this primitive music being played down, and then we were seated just where you could see, what's that? Denver. You could see Denver just over the stage, and it was this weird, like there were planes just flying in constantly. Cars streaming out. It was this weird mix of like high technology, almost felt like something out of a sci-fi novel or like a really good cult sci-fi film where you were like...
You could only really see the horizon by where the lights stopped.
Yeah.
And it was just, and everything was just black for like this sea of black all the way behind the stage. And then the moon was a full moon.
Oh yeah, that was right. It was a full moon or close. It was a big moon.
So you had the light, and there were some clouds that were like sort of soft and wispy.
But they were lit by the city below.
They were.
Like it was just a surreal experience.
It was. It really was.
And it felt to me like I felt like I was in some sort of sci-fi, cult movie or something. It was crazy. Well, you know how like the old B movies, the old B sci-fi movies that are good, like Alien, which are, I guess maybe Alien's not a B movie, I don't know, but these old sci-fi movies that weren't like people, a lot of people don't really get into sci-fi in the mainstream. Your dad did, so you don't know what I'm saying, but you do. I know. Bagpipes. Yes, I like bagpipes a lot. Actually, I had decided that this year was going to be the year of the bagpipes, and I was going to learn to play a musical instrument for the first time since middle school, and it was going to be bagpipes. And I was going to march around my neighborhood in a kilt, carrying a kettlebell, and then playing bagpipes horribly to practice. And I never have done it because this year has gone weird and sideways.
Because the whole world just doesn't want to hear you play that awful bagpipe sound.
You're right, Collier. That's what it was. The world knew what was coming, so it put coronavirus out there to keep me from playing bagpipes. If you haven't seen The Who, you need to check it out. Oh, I love The Who, Wayne. I drive my kids crazy with The Who.
Mm-hmm.
You hush. I'm just playing. If you look at maths, steel, and construction all day, you want to reconnect with reality and family through growing. Okay, Campbell, that makes a lot of sense. Yeah, I like that. You seem like a cool dude. Good luck with pink oyster, yellow oyster. I'll be growing gold oyster for sure, but pink oyster, what do you mean good luck? Oh, you're talking about to Jerome? I was worried. I was worried I missed this. When working with plants, if you take a clone, after several generations, it loses vigor and you need to restart from seed. Does this apply to fungi at all? Currently, I keep my cultures going by grain-to-grain transfers or cloning mushroom tissue from good fruits. I'm wondering if there's a better way to do this. I only go to Petri plates when isolating sectors out from spore, or if I run out of clean grain jars to transfer. So, okay, there's a little bit to unpack there, but the truth is, not really. What's up, Vinny?
He wanted up here.
Now
he wants down.
Let's see. So the first part is they can lose vigor, but their vigor is not senescence like what you're talking about. It's not cell replication degradation so much. Oh, truffle. Now truffle's up here. Let's have truffle. It's not the same as age degradation. Mushrooms have all kinds of cool stuff, and I'm sure it's different species to species, but they have all kinds of cool stuff in them that basically, in practicality, makes them immortal. That's why you can have a 2,000-year mat of mycelium growing in, was it Washington State, that is 2 miles long and 1.3 miles across, right? How can something have that many cell replications for 2,000 years and mushrooms suffer from senescence? It's actually something, and I learned this from a guy named Sidney Obersingleton. So if you guys know who Sidney Obersingleton is or don't know, he's in the mushroom growing groups. Dude is one of the most knowledgeable people about fungus that I know. Sidney's a badass in the mycology world. So it's actually called enzyme blindness. Basically, it's mushroom diabetes, where they eat so many sugary foods, they lose the ability to create the sugary foods themselves from poor substrates. So there's a couple of ways to protect against this. One of them is you keep a dish, an agar dish, or a culture slant in your refrigerator, and you pull a tiny slice from that and then grow from that. And then that sits in cold storage for a long time, right? You keep pulling from that, and every time your strains start to lose vigor, you go back to your original culture that has fewer cell replications over the sugary liquid or sugary substrate. The other way to protect against this, which I use a combination of the two, is to grow and sometimes store your cultures in a mix of very little sugar and kind of a poor nutritional substrate. It can't be too poor or it can't survive for a long time. But like a little bit of master's mix in agar with no added sugar to it makes for a good culture slant. But I don't do all of my culture slants that way. I do maybe two the normal way, which is the sugary agar, and then one that has more of the sawdust and soy in it. So that is a good way to go, in my opinion, to kind of try to protect from two different angles. Eventually, you get into stuff like liquid nitrogen storage, flash freezing. What is there? There's a storing in glycerin. a buddy of mine, one of my students, started storing in RO water. I think he was storing was it RO water? I'd have to ask. It may have just been highly filtered water that was not quite RO quality. I can't remember. Anyways, what it was is he was taking mycelium and cutting it up and throwing the chunks in a vial of fluid that could grow out. It could grow out very well, but was sitting there ready to use. And I think he made up like 500 tubes, and then he had been using those and was testing how long they would last. There's a lot of different ways to kind of do this. There's a lot of research being done into this. I don't think people realize that it was actually enzyme blindness for a while. So it's kind of cool to see that happen because now people are getting it. New things are coming out, which is like the same across the board in the mushroom world. There's just so many new things. Innovation brokers are the kings in the mushroom worlds right now. So that's one part of your question, right? Currently, I keep my cultures going by grain-to-grain transfers or cloning mushroom tissue from good fruits. I'm wondering if there's a better way to do this. So I wouldn't clone from my mushrooms at the very end, right? Because you're getting the ones at the very end of the line that have lost the most enzyme site, we'll call it. I only go to Petri plates when isolating sectors out from spore. That's a good way to use agar for sure. Or if I run out of clean grain jars to transfer. So grain to grain to grain to grain to grain works pretty well. It is hard to keep it entirely clean for really long generation, like multiple generations. I usually go like 6 expansions, and then I go back to agar or liquid culture. But even then, my liquid cultures are refreshed from fresh agar sources. Jenny says, engineers, IT people, and farmers all like to create something. I was a sheep dairy farmer in a previous life. That's kind of cool. I like that. For sure. Killing mice in the grow room. I know the feeling. Killing mice in the grow room. I know the feeling. Oh, you mean knowing the feeling of, like that heartache I was talking about, like that kind of nice guy stuff, and then you're like, well, it's for the greater good to kill the mice. Because yeah, man, I feel you. The first time I killed something, I grew up for a long time not killing stuff. The first time I killed something, I think I was 20. Let's see. It was at the duplex. So at the duplex, we had Collier, which means I had been through boot camp. I had been through college.
26, 28.
No, it was like 22.
Sure.
It's 21 or 22. In fact, I know it was 21 because we lived there when I went and got drunk up at Charles's place and got alcohol poisoning and almost got hospitalized. So that was that. Anyways, not that you guys needed to know that at all. But the first time I killed something was a rabbit that I raised. I did learn my lesson. I've never been much of an alcohol drinker since, except like mead and a beer occasionally. But the first time I killed something, I was like 21. I had raised these rabbits. I intended to eat them. I killed it, like whacked it on the head, and immediately started crying like a little girl. Like, it bothered me so much. Now I can kill a rabbit all day long, and it doesn't bother me. And it's not that I'm like callous and feel like no empathy for the animal. I just, it's got to go so I can eat, and that's what it is now. But yeah, like I feel bad about killing mice. I try not to kill stuff if I can help it, like spiders. Everybody knows that when they come to Andrew's house, it's covered in spiders. I keep writing some spider egg sacs. I put them all around my house. Those things got to eat too. My daughter gets onto me because I feed them butterflies a lot. So, but my thing is I feed them the butterflies I think are ugly and then allow the pretty butterflies to continue, which means that hopefully around my house, I'll have this pocket of butterflies I like. That's my excuse anyways. Rack of lamb is my favorite. I do like a good rack of lamb. Can't listen to them for long periods because they aren't good. Fair enough, Jason. I'll acquiesce a little bit. Subtronics, Liquid Stranger, Nectar. I do like base nectar. Bro, we need to get this camping fest moving. Let's do it. Yeah, okay. Let's do it. Yellow Wolf. I do like Yellow Wolf. I like a lot of Yellow Wolf. I can get everything to grow except bear's head lion's mane. What does the lion's mane need that everything else doesn't? In my opinion, it needs less than everything. So
our trick that we have noticed is that you don't wait until the bag is fully white to cut it open.
yeah, our bags still look like sawdust as much as possible. Like when we stab our bag to
You see a little bit of wispy growth and maybe a few little white dots,
and it's ready to fruit.
and it's ready. Yeah.
Yeah, but
You just do a slit.
but it sounds to me like he can't
Little
even get it to
slice.
fruit. Like if that's the case, like that means he's not even talking top pitting. I don't know if you're using the Masters mix. It grows great on the Masters mix.
Yes. It also likes kind of cooler weather.
Mm-hmm. It does like cooler weather.
It grows best for us in spring and fall.
Yep.
Whenever it's about 60.
So
62,
in the summertime, when we see this like white sludge that drips from it, a lot of times the mushrooms turn black. And I'll tell you something that it cleaned the floor.
Gross amazing.
It's gross amazing. It grew on the floor one time. The stuff dripped and it just spread. And then Samantha washed it away. And she's like, oh, it cleaned the grime out of the pores in the concrete. It cleaned everything till it was like beautiful, but it didn't strip the paint. And she's like, I got to know what this is. So we noticed it the other day. Laura and Samantha did. So they came and got me. So I went and took samples. And last night I went and spread those samples on the agar. Went this morning and there was already an incredible amount of growth. I have no idea what this stuff is. It does look fungal in nature, but it doesn't look home tooth in nature. So I'm excited to see what it is, but we'll grow it out. I'll play with it some and we'll see. Like I figured if nothing else, it'll be good data for my contamination video series I'm planning on doing for people. But it's one of those things that I'm hoping that I can maybe see what that cleaning agent was in it, that whatever enzyme it had. Raw, I'm going to give it to you just like cocaine straight from Bolivia, Wu-Tang. Oh, God, Jason. Oh, man, it's been a long time since I've listened to some Wu-Tang. I'll have to pull that up. Did you see Jewel from Funky Fungi posted the other day? No. Is Jewel back? Is she back with us? Let me go look this up. I noticed her post on Instagram, but I follow her personally on Instagram. So, what happened to Funky Fungi? She did 2 days ago. Okay, I'll have to go and watch this here in a little bit.
I'm excited to hear stuff.
Yeah.
From her.
What if this means she's coming back, or if this means that she's just kind of like finally like I can deal with the hurt and put it out there? Because I know it was pretty traumatic for her to actually give up the business and everything going on. Saw REM in 2003 at Red Rocks. Ah, cool. That's really neat. I just purchased a blue oyster from you along with a bear's head and reishi. Can I grow these alongside pearl oysters? Going to do reishis inside the bag, I think. Yes, John, and thank you very much. I would have suggested getting the mother of pearl oyster while you were at it, just FYI. Do it next time, though. Save on shipping. But the reishi, I absolutely recommend doing in bag. Probably could take you guys down there. I think the Wi-Fi would have worked, but I've got about 25 bags right now that are all just sitting in the shelves, and I've not cut the bag at all. I'm letting the antlers grow up. That is absolutely, in my opinion, the way to do it if you like antlers. And all of those can grow next to pearl oysters. I like the antlers too. They're easier to work.
Out how to get them to spiral. And
You talking about like Ryan does?
Yes.
Ryan and who's Horsefled?
so beautiful.
What is his
He
name?
does such a good job.
So there's a guy on Instagram called Horsefled. I cannot remember
Awesome.
his personal
Stir
name.
sticks for tea.
Right, yeah. Samantha wants to make these reishi stir sticks for teas
What
and
you do is
coffees.
just cut the bottom, make your tea, and then
Right.
stir it around, and the stick just keeps getting shorter.
I don't think it dissolves though. Are you talking about you just cut it off every time you?
Cut what you need.
So you end up with a big stick at first, and then you just work your way down. Okay, I can dig that. And
don't know
if you
if
do it
it's
curvy,
steeping in
if you
the
can do
hot
the
liquid
reishi
line.
bonsai sticks curvy like Ryan and Horsefled do, you could actually have it to where it could like sit on the edge of your cup in a sturdy position.
Exactly.
That'd be cool. Yeah, I'd like that. Jenny says, "I love your dog." Thank you. I'm not sure which one you're talking about. They're both dumb, and I love them.
You're not done. They're very
I
smart.
think it was the one Mom was holding.
It may have been Venture. So there's Vinny. Vinny's the black one. His name's Venture, and we call him Vinny. And then we got Truffle, who is down here trying to lick my feet right now. And Truffle is Venture's mother, not father, but Venture's mother, and she is a miniature schnauzer. I actually used to have Truffle trained. I don't know if she would still do it or not. It's been years since I've taken her out, but I used to take her hunting, and she'd smell mushrooms, and she'd take off after them, and I'd go follow her when she took off like that off the trail.
Well, that was really hard because she would find the patch and roll and destroy.
She'd go and then like find a big patch of morels and be like, and then she'd just start rolling everywhere, and it would tear all of them up, and she would eat them like as fast as she could. She loved morels. Like I had her trained where I could find them, but I had to be right there with her. So, yeah, but thank you. I like my dogs a lot. They can be a little annoying sometimes, but man, they're good dogs. I'm getting ready to build a steamer/sterilizer on a larger scale. Okay. Saw your 300-gallon cattle trough. Were you able to get it to 15 psi? Is that super important? No, it is an atmospheric steamer, no pressure. You do not want to pressurized vessels that are not made for pressure. Like 55-gallon drums do not put pressure in those things. Even 1 psi, and to me, is just asking for it. I know people say you can get away with it. People do, but I've seen those things warp. Just wouldn't do it. For one thing, you're putting the barrel under heat, which is a stressor that we don't know if it can what about pressure and heat? Can it take that? I don't know. It makes me nervous. But
really designed for...
yeah. So we build a boiler out of a 55-gallon drum, and it just boils water and lets steam out, and it goes to the bottom of the trough. We just insulated the side of the trough. I punched a couple of holes with a nail in the bottom so condensation can run through, and then we throw a plastic sheet and a blanket over the top of that after we've filled it with whole blocks, and it works great. I can do a full ton of substrate in a run.
You can see the steam kind of billowing out, and it's neat to kind of plant plants around it that really like the warmth.
Yeah,
because you can get them to survive longer into the winter.
It is actually really interesting. We get plantain. Like I love plantain. I've used plantain for herbal stuff for a long, long time. And the leaves on the plantain down there by the steamer trough get like that big. It looks like some prehistoric type of plantain. But yeah, Byron, that will work. It's an atmospheric steamer though, not 15 psi, and you do have to cook for longer. So like I do like 24-hour runs, but I can do a full ton at a time. Phil McCracken says, "What's up? I'm looking fly. Dang, I'm getting a lot of compliments. Maybe I should wear my hair down more often." I wore it down the other day to the store and got flirted with a little bit, and I was like, "Oh, man, this is nice."
So I cut his hair.
She did. She does cut my hair.
I convinced him to go with that look, so I'm glad to see comments.
She did convince me. She's like, "I like the longer hair, but I want it long on top because I've grown longer hair out before. Never this long, but I've grown it out before, but it always looked woolly mammoth-y because I'd grow my beard out at the same time, and then I have like thick curls that come out, in the back and stuff. I have a double crown, and it just look like a woolly mammoth. So, let's see. Vegan Gang. What Vegan Gang? Is Vegan Gang a band? Is it a thing? Let's see you. Gallowix, my lion's mane grows great even from straight grain jars. I actually didn't want this, but I fruited them because I didn't transfer them soon enough. Yeah, it'll fruit fast. It fruits really fast. And honestly, if your spawn's already getting little fruits in it, or if you can see strong growth in your bags, I consider that too late. Can still use it, but I've noticed that I get that black sludge a lot more often with bags that have got fruits in it. And I think they're rotting and they're creating a rotten core in the middle. No, Jewel had lawsuits over her warehouse and has stopped with mushrooms, 5-figure settlement. Dang, she had to settle? I knew that it was some stuff like that, but I didn't know that it was that high. I'll go watch the video. People in other buildings complained about the smell when cooking her substrate.
I think it smells good.
Yeah, I do too. I think it stuff smells good.
But it's almost like a campfire in a way. It's with that like smoked kind of wood.
Wait, we used pressure cookers to cook it?
Not burnt.
No, the steamer.
Oh.
Toasted wood.
Oh yeah,
Should
I
be
don't
a
like
candle.
that smell.
You don't like that smell? I like that smell. But of course it means money to me.
I like
So the thing with that is that it's probably thank you, Hazelin. I appreciate that. I think she was near like a hair salon and stuff like that, and I can absolutely imagine like my nana or my mama being like, this stuff stinks because it has a smell. So no offense to my mama, but she's got a sensitive nose. So I guess I can see that near those kind of places. Now we're in an old farmers co-op next to a fiber optics cabling company who no one's ever there.
Next to a field.
Next to a gigantic field and railroad tracks. Yeah, so I mean, we're in a pretty industrial setting. There's not a lot of people going. The Irvin guys that are next to us, they're contractors out of Kentucky. They're great guys. They've been really good to us, really nice and friendly. Pretty much anything we need. Like they've unloaded stuff for us with forklifts before. So they've been pretty good to us, and I've not had anything like that. So thankfully, I don't have to worry about that. But I could see that being bad. Jerome says she's not going back to mushrooms. Okay, I didn't think she was. She had told me a while back when we were talking about stuff, some personal stuff, that she wasn't planning on going back. Why do you recommend Mother of Pearl? Almost bought the turtle. So the turtle is a great strain. Like the turtle song is one of the first wild oyster mushrooms in a long time that I'm really, really impressed with. There are most wild oysters are pretty okay. Most of them are pretty good, and most of them probably have a lot of genetic diversity in there to be explored for breeding. But the turtle song is the first one I've been like, I tried it and I was like, holy crap, I like this mushroom. In fact, I'm working on the taste test video right now that I'm hoping to release tomorrow or the day after, depending on how much time I've got. So that is a great. It smells fantastic.
That has been like the number one response that we have received from everyone who has bought it.
For the Pathfinder or
was it the Pathfinder?
It was the Pathfinder earlier. The smell, the comments that we were reading, that was for the Pathfinder.
Okay.
Yeah.
I thought you were saying that was for the turtle song.
No, that was for the Pathfinder.
Oh.
So the Pathfinder oyster has you didn't. You're fine. It does smell good. The turtle song does smell good. The Pathfinder has the most incredibly sweet smell.
I think it smells like licorice.
It kind of does smell like licorice. You're absolutely right. Yeah, like a really sweet licorice. Like it's enough that I want to grow it on grain and then try brewing a beer with it as one of the flavoring agents. So anyways, John, going back to your original question about the Mother of Pearl, it's my new strain that I've bred. Man, this thing it's easily like, I geeked out about it earlier. I'm going to try really hard to tamp it down this time because I was geeking out really hard. But I bred this strain. We call it Mother of Pearl because it looks pearlescent, and it's really hard to capture on camera. But how people used to wash clothes back in the old days, and they would add indigo to their whites because it made their whites look brighter and whiter. And this has got a blue oyster parent and a white oyster parent, and it has that Mother of Pearl look to it, like that. That kind of slight blue that you can't see, but you can't really see it's there, but you perceive it, and it's just so white on white on white. It grows a lot like a gold oyster in habit, except the stems aren't hard; they're really soft, and the weight. Oh my goodness, man! Like having a soft oyster that weighs a lot is crazy. This thing every cluster was over 3 pounds first flush, with many of them being 3.5 or something. I think I've got a picture up there that shows it's 3.54 on one of them. The lowest, I showed the one of the 3.5 clusters, and then I showed the lowest weight that I had, which was a 3.01 pound, I think. It's just, man, I'm so impressed with this mushroom. It is easily, like I'm putting it into immediate commercial production for myself because it fruited at 70 degrees. It was bred down in the 50s. Which tells me it's going to be a pretty wide range strain. And I've had the mushrooms in the refrigerator for 4 days and they look great. So it's got a good shelf life. So this is easily just one of the most incredible mushrooms I've ever come across. And I bred it. So I'm really proud of it. That's why I was suggesting it, because I'm really proud of that mushroom. Do I ship to Canada? I do ship to Canada. You have to email me at mossycreekmushrooms@gmail.com with what you want for your order. I've been shipping flat rate in small boxes, so it's costing about $22 shipping. So you need to get with me on email. Tell me what you want. I'll send you the PayPal invoice. You can pay it, and then I can do it that way, but I don't have a way to do it through my website right now. I'm going to run. Miss you all. Give me a call tomorrow when you have a minute. Absolutely, Jason. We miss you too, man. I will give you a call tomorrow. Dang, missed a bunch. Oh, well, I'll just have to scroll back. Sorry, man. I did post it for 2 or 3 hours before getting on. But I recognize that some people need a day or two, really, because some people work a real life and real schedule. Unlike me. How long do you leave the lights on when fruiting? Right now we have it on 16 hours on, 8 hours off. You could do 12 hours on, 12 hours off. We do it 16 hours because it gives us the longest amount of time to actually be working in the grow room. Damn, went AFK for a while. Well, Campbell,
Welcome back.
welcome back. What did you miss? Yo, Mossy, you catch my comment on the fluorescent lighting in the warehouse causing green lighting in the camera? I did catch the comment. I've been having a hard time keeping up with all the comments that are out there, guys. I did catch it. Thank you very much for that explanation. I knew it was something like that about the wavelengths and everything else and how the camera perceives it instead of us. But I do really appreciate that. Side fade ponytail back would be a good look. So you're saying get the faded sides with the ponytail in the back? Maybe. Or up. Yeah, I don't know. So we're working with home cuttings. And I'm afraid that if we go too crazy, because right now it's just a simple Samantha grabs my hair and she puts it up kind of like Bam Bam. Like so this is how Samantha cuts my hair. Samantha or Aislinn, can you mute that while you're here? I appreciate that. I'm sure people don't need an echo though. She puts my hair up like this and then just buzzes the sides and around the ears and stuff. Which I mean, even now looking at it, I can tell I need another haircut.
Pull it down and cut it at an angle.
Yep.
And then cut his beard at the angle to match the other angle.
Yeah, and the beard needs a new trim too because I'm starting to get those again. So that needs to be trimmed. I need to brush it out, oil it, and do all that too. So, but is what it is. There seems to be more flirting at the moment. It's probably people stuck at home in isolation without partners. You know what? Maybe it's not that I'm good looking, Campbell. Thanks a lot.
I think he's good looking.
I'm glad that you think I'm good looking. How many elements in your steam barrel? Seems like you'd need 2 for the horse trough. Thought about a sauna steamer. So we do 9 kilowatts, 2 4.5 kilowatt elements. We do 12 hours at 9 kilowatts, and then the rest of the time at 4.5 kilowatts. Are you and Micro Mama over there having fun? Thanks for distracting my wife, Jen.
I'm sorry.
Yeah, you're fine. Why? I don't care.
Gotta figure out a way to make this egg not look like a bowling ball.
If you're using a 300-gallon, if you're looking at a 300-gallon trough, the 9 kilowatt sauna steamers are good. Oh man, I'm getting tired, guys. I always have a cigar before I go to bed. Well, I call it a cigar. It's really pipe tobacco in a little roll. Maybe I will continue doing this if you guys are wanting to continue the live stream, but you're going to have to allow me to roll one and burn one down while talking to you guys. So if you just say yay or nay or whatever, and I'll keep going, or I can end it now and we'll go with that. Got this government stimulus, so I have money to buy another strain. I'll order the mother of pearl. Love you, Andrew. Was so glad to catch you on this live stream. Thank you, John. I really appreciate it. I really wasn't trying to push it on you, man, but I do appreciate it. It is something I'm really proud of, so I think that you're going to enjoy it. Are you guys still doing the roadside stand? Actually, Jerome, no. If so, how's it going? No, the roadside stand was just at first to let people know that we were there and we were selling mushrooms. We do still sell mushrooms from the shop, from the warehouse, what we're calling the foundry. And it is not a lot, but our CSAs are picking up. So we do, I do retail out of the shop. If people want them cheaper, I sell them through the CSAs. And then, if people still want to buy restaurant cases, sometimes people do, I'll sell them a restaurant size case for the restaurant price. So honestly, the CSAs have been going well though. The CSAs have been going really well, particularly as we're getting more variety. And then, which reminds me, we need to tell Jen for the CSA that next week we don't want to do comb tooth because we don't have any growing other than the third. So we can do it this coming week, but next week we need to stop it. Yeah. I had forgotten about that, so I need to get that out of the way. But yeah, that's what I was really doing with the roadside stand was, hey guys, we are here. We now have Facebook ads, and people know that we're there. I have regulars who are calling that I'm occasionally meeting over there. It's kind of a drip, and like just here and there. I kind of don't like doing it, and this is something I've been really trying to fight is how do I get mushrooms sold to the public without having to constantly drop what I'm doing and then go do whatever they need me to do, right? Because it takes me out of my workflow, and all these people are like who are doing home deliveries and stuff. I cannot see how they're making like I can't see how they're doing much more than breaking even. They might be doing more than breaking even. They might be making pretty good money, but we'll see. Looks like I'm getting there. People are okay with me smoking on the live stream, so just wanted to make sure that's all right. If so, I'll have to go grab my tobacco out of my toolbox here.
You want me to do it for you, Daddy?
Sure, baby.
Okay.
Thank you. Bottom drawer.
Bottom drawer.
There's a jar and then a little. You gotta get it out more.
I can actually open it for you.
So anyways, Jerome, that's how the roadside stand's going. It's not at the moment. But I know people who are still doing roadside stands, and they're having really good luck with it. There's also a red tub and some skizzers.
You need the sniper.
Yep. Thank you. See. What up, Andrew? Hope all is well in Mossdom. I have never heard it called Mossdom. I like that, though. And I might. When Samantha when she's doing this mural, I may see if she'll like write something like "Welcome to the Mossdom" with us or something like that, or "Welcome to the Mossdom" on there. That'd be neat. I jumped the fence for you, Andrew. Or Samantha, just they're crazy working from home with 4 kids. Fair enough, Campbell. I appreciate it. And thank you, Brett. I appreciate you guys letting me burn one down. Oh, damn. I've been smoking tobacco recently as a replacement for cannabis. By all means, burn one down. What happened to your cannabis? Or did you just quit because you wanted to quit? It's not legal here, so I didn't know, but I enjoyed Colorado while I was there.
My batteries.
Your battery's dying.
You shouldn't be saying that.
Smoke them if you got them. Thank you, Wayne. What color?
You shouldn't say that while you're on mute.
Shouldn't say what? That it's illegal?
Yeah.
People know it's illegal in Tennessee. Why is that a problem?
Because you just.
If he's in Colorado, he can smoke it and I can't. And I'll just smoke my tobacco like I'm about to do.
All right.
So let's see. I don't ever think you're pushing anything. I'm happy to support you. The information you provide for free is incredibly valuable to me. Well, thank you, John. I really appreciate that. Thank you very much. So true for all of us, John Grady. Oh, goodness, man. You guys are making me blush. But just built my limiter flow hood today. I'm excited to buy some of your cultures. Heck yeah. Congratulations, Byron. That's awesome, man. That's an exciting moment. The flow hood is an exciting moment. I have had my flow hood for, oh my gosh, I bought it in 2013. So 7 years. Before that, I was working in a still air box, and it changed how I do everything. Having that flow hood, it made how fast I could work. Into like I went to like light speed working like that. Then we had before the still air box. I guess no, I take it back. We had a flow box. I guess it was a Sterilite bin. It was my old glove box that we adhered a vacuum pump to, and then put a vacuum HEPA filter on it. And so I had HEPA filtered air going into a Sterilite bin and going out the handholds. And it was one of my buddies helped me with it, and a guy named Mark, and it worked really, really well for a long time. The problem was you had to open it up and re-sanitize it and constantly do that back and forth. So the flow hood, after we worked with that for a long time, the flow hood really changed stuff. It was really crazy. So, what's noisy? Am I being noisy? But yeah, congratulations, Byron, on that. And buy the cultures when you can. Please be economical about it. I appreciate all the support you guys give me, but make sure you guys are in a position of strength and that you guys are taken care of. So, hey now, what? Do you do refrigerated trucks for delivery to your chefs? No, Byron. We deliver everything that we have in our minivan. I find the whole idea of the big refrigerated trucks to be a little overkill. You have a lot of the moving air box, the vacuum pump. Yeah, that thing. I had to wear earplugs to work it, man, for sure. But we do our van has you can control the air conditioning in the back differently than the air conditioning in the front, and we just jack up the air conditioning in the back with the boxes sitting in the back, and we drive about 45 minutes to our restaurants, and then do our deliveries for the next. I think Samantha's round trip takes about 5 hours, and she does that twice a week, and it's because we go from Knoxville to Maryville to Walland through Sevierville and then back down. But those days are always really good cash days, or at least they were when the restaurants were open. Obviously, things are a little thin now on the restaurant side. I'm actually liking the CSA game, though. I'm charging more for the mushrooms, so I have to sell a lot less to make the same amount of money. And I'm finding them to be a lot more convenient than I did the first time I did CSAs. So I think the CSAs are here to stay. But the good news is that the maximum amount of mushrooms we were ever able to grow out of this place was about 900 pounds a week. The new warehouse, we are going to be doing hopefully about 3,000 pounds a week. So Byron, I may change my mind. At any point, I reserve the right to change my mind on any decision I've made. So everything that I say is except for when it's not, right? Things are great except when they're not. Things are the way they are. I do not like refrigerated vans except when I do, that kind of stuff. So as of right now, no, we do everything in a minivan, and I think it's great. What's the word on baggers? I'm interested in buying one, or at least the plans one. So the plans are taking longer because of the move, being shorthanded, and Ben just generally being overworked and underpaid in pretty much everything he does. So that said, we are building baggers right now like crazy. Ben has been selling them, or rather, I guess I've been selling them. Ben has been building them, and we've been steadily doing 1 or 2 a week. We're about to do a web page on it to where people can just purchase them and then do local pickup. We have not gotten freight figured out yet, but I'm happy to work with people if they need freight and can help us figure that side out. So, Phoenix, get with me. Email me at mossycreekmushrooms@gmail.com, and I can send you an invoice for one if you really want one, if you want to do local pickup. And then if you want to do freight, maybe we can figure that out. So we'll have something hopefully on that. I'm also interested in bagger. Okay, Byron, everybody that's interested in a bagger, just email me at mossycreekmushrooms@gmail.com, and we'll get you set up with a PayPal invoice or whatever you need, and we'll have a drive down and drive up to us party and do a bunch of baggers. But yeah, we are absolutely selling baggers. Now the timeline on a bagger is about 4 to 6 weeks after payments received, because as soon as we get your payment, we get all the parts and just start working on it. And we have a waiting list right now, so it's like you'll purchase one, get on the waiting list, and then as soon as it's ready, we'll be notifying you, with time to come pick it up. And we can hold it as long, right now we've got all the space we could need, so we can hold it as long as you like. And they'll be $1,500 for the next while we're still working through the prototyping phase. We're getting them pretty well and standardized, and so we're not in a huge hurry to up the price. But once we have it standardized, shippable, and everything really going the way it's going to be for these things, then we'll be putting the price up a little bit on them. But because they're a prototype, we don't want to be too greedy with it. So quit cannabis so I can get a better job. Love it, but need a better job. John, yeah, I gotcha. I understand, man. I'm in Washington. I thought it was legal in Washington. Do they still regulate it in jobs? Like, because my understanding was even people from Tennessee, when we go to Colorado, stuff like that, and people smoke. See, I haven't worked a real job in a few years now. But my understanding is that when that happened, they came back, they could get tested, and they'd be like, well, I was in Colorado a month ago. And they were like, well, that's fine. So I don't know. Someone keeps deleting my comments. Michael Mom, I'm sorry. It may be our algorithm. No, well, it's not Wayne or Jason. They're just legitimately gone. YouTube may be deleting them because we have our own. Like we get to where we have our own keywords that we're looking out for. But Michael Mom, I'm not seeing anything here that doesn't say that it's not going through. I don't know, Michael Mom. Sorry. Not I, Michael Mom. But yeah, and it wasn't. Jason's gone. So she's going into the other room because I'm distracting you. Just telling him that very thing today. Also, John, he's invaluable. John is very invaluable. You're telling who what today? I feel lost. Any idea why some mushrooms in the same batch come out huge and singular while others have nice clumps? It's the gremlins, man. It's the grow room gremlins. No, I don't actually know what causes that. I see that occasionally. It's a pretty normal thing. It is unsightly, and I don't know if it has to do with bacteria or an uneven pin set that's coming from some pins pinning inside the bag and some pinning on the surface. There's a few different thoughts that I've got on this, but none of them are concrete, and none of them are even closely represented by data. So I wish I could help you out a little bit more on that. I still see it myself, and if I knew how to stop it, I would. Just because it's nice to have a more standardized product for the chefs and everyone else to work with. And I've noticed I seem to get bigger ones, like bigger mushrooms on my second flush more often than my first. I don't like liquid culture until I do. Yeah, that's kind of the big famous one right now. I still get a lot of emails about why do you hate liquid culture? And it's like, well, just continue watching the videos, guys. Like, I'm not a static person. I change too. But you're right, Jerome. That is my latest large hypocrisy. I'm an executive chef in Tampa, currently on furlough. Have a fascination with mushrooms, always have. So I'm starting a side hustle out of my garage. Yeah, man, that's great. I've got a few students who are literally just chefs who wanted to grow mushrooms for their own consumption, for their own restaurants consumption. And I've worked on a few consults like that. I really like those consult jobs. I usually get fed really well. And as you guys can tell, I get fed well. But I think that's a great idea. We've actually talked about this a lot, about how that actually might be a service industry in the future, is just literally restaurants that I've got a restaurant that grows their own microgreens, and they're wanting to start growing mushroom blocks like in different grow chambers around where people can actually see like the fog come in and roll in and stuff. And I know there's a place in New York that does that. I think it's a great idea. I don't know how complicated you want to get into it, but I think that stuff is fantastic. So congratulations, Byron, on the flow hood and getting bit by the bug, bud. And man, a garage, it can be a great place to do it. Like my entire operation, other than the warehouse now, but the warehouse is brand new. We still not even grown a single mushroom out of the warehouse. We just got the grow room almost finished, the first grow room. We have bags incubating, bags cooking right now. My first culture work was done a couple nights ago. Liquid cultures just got moved over to the warehouse, which is actually why I'm a couple days late on shipping stuff over there, because I've been having to set up a lab and on the fly, and that's been fun. Maybe I should do a video on the temp lab. Anyways, it's been hectic, but going back to the basement op here, my basement op was only 800 square feet, and I was able to grow, like I said, about 900 pounds. It was 900 pounds a week. We were doing, I think, our biggest week ever out of this place was 936 pounds. I'd have to double check, and maybe something like 26 or 46 or something. But we grew a lot, which is, I mean, that's more than a pound per square foot. And so if you've got some decent square footage, you don't need much for anything other than your grow rooms and incubation. But even then, your incubation, our incubation was maybe a quarter the size of our grow room, and we just focused on fast strains that grow well. So, yeah, man, you should be able to do a lot. What is a bagger? Casper Martinez, if you want to see, a bagger is you put a bag up, like your grow bag up, and we hit a foot pedal, it dumps solids and liquids in there. We close that stuff up, put it into the steamer to steam it, and then take it to the lab. So a bagger is just the machine that is dumping your substrate into the bag so that you can bag it quickly. And have a standardized bag rather than having to bag by hand. The baggers that we're selling are called Prometheus baggers. They're based in part off of our old bagger called the Thor and Mousetrap, which was a 2-part bagger. And it's kind of an interesting little thing. There's a few different baggers in the market. You have the Odin from Top Shelf Mushrooms, which is Bradford Coons. You have, I can't remember the name of Myers Mushroom Bagger. It may just be Myers Mushroom Bagger. That's all steel construction. It's pretty expensive, but it's a good bagger. And then you have our bagger, which is made almost entirely out of wood, PVC, and it is $1,500 instead of $6,000. I think Myers' smallest bagger is $6,000, and ours bags a bag about every 6 seconds, which is as fast as Myers' bagger. So pretty proud of that. Ben built something out of wood, and our last wood bagger was supposed to last 6 months. It was just a prototype, and lasted 3 years, I think. So I like these wood construction baggers. They're cheaper. Ben is obviously likes some of the metal stuff too. Ben's wanting to get into metalworking, but wood is something he's familiar with, so he was able to get into that. And anyways, that's just kind of going into the baggers there. Oh yeah, they drug test the crap out of you. Legal doesn't mean anything. I can only work restaurant jobs and the like because cannabis is federally illegal. Okay, so it's going to depend on your job type and everything else. Interesting. Because I'd heard a lot of the bigger companies weren't doing that as much anymore, or they were like changing their drug tests for harder stuff. Byron says, I'll come pick up the bagger. Love Tennessee. Used to live in Kentucky. Beautiful country. Kentucky is beautiful. Samantha's family is all from Kentucky. Beautiful women and landscape, apparently. But if you want to come pick up the bagger, that's fine, man. Just like I said, email me, mossycreekmushrooms@gmail.com. Get with me, man. Let me know if you want me to send, when you want me to send the invoice, when you want your pickup date to be. We'll kind of talk about it. But I'll absolutely sell you guys baggers. Ben has given me permission to open the floodgates on him and really get baggers out the door. So I am now no longer holding people back from buying baggers, but there is a waiting list. The first person to put the order in gets the bagger, down the line kind of thing. What's up, Cantal? Check out the Uber for freight shipments, freightquote.com. Will do. Absolutely. Thank you. I will do that. I also have a UPS account. I just haven't talked to them about what the freight is yet on it. Oh, my goodness. Sorry, guys. Getting tight sitting. No worries. It's crazy. Probably my end. Well, Jen, The way your week has been going, it might just be. Telling John you are valuable, and I was just saying that to John. Oh, thank you, darling. I appreciate it. Yes, on the Temp Lab video. Okay, I'll build it out. I mean, it's not impressive. It's literally just a table and the HEPA flow filter. But I'll do it. I'll just do it and show you guys around. Like, I'll do an update video on the build. I've got so many videos I want to do, but I'm editing all my own videos again, and so for the moment, and so it is just my brain feels foggy all the time. I feel like somebody's taken my brain and just stretched it in 15 different directions. But I'll do the video for sure. That's why simple videos like that are actually easier on me right now than a lot of the how-tos. But I do have some how-tos coming out as well, and a lot more products coming out to the website. We're going to be doing stuff like liquid culture lids. So I just got so sick and tired of crappy liquid culture lids on the market. I am so sick of them. So I'm just making the metal lids with the syringe filters and the self-healing injector ports and little RTV silicone to make sure things are snug. And I'll be showing you guys how I build them so you can build them yourself. But if you don't want to do it yourself, then I'll be selling them as well. So Byron says your basement looked way bigger than 800 square feet. So it is. My basement is way bigger than 800 square feet. But you got to remember, my entire basement is not my operation. So the square footage of the steamer outside, the bagger, I have a lot of personal stuff downstairs. I have like brewing stuff. We have our laundry room. We have a bedroom down there. We have just a lot of personal space. So the operation equated to about 800 square feet. So our big grow room is 11 by 19, so 209 square feet. Our other room is 12 by 12, which is 144 plus 209. So we're at 353 square feet for my grow rooms. My incubation is a 10 by 10, roughly speaking. So what are we at? We're about almost 500 square feet there. Lab was a 10 by 11, and then so there's another 100 square feet, and then you had the bagger space and the box elder bugs. I hate those things. Our steamer space. So it all came out to about 800 square feet. Roughly speaking. I mean, you give me a 10 one way or the other. Oh, wow. Thank you, Michael Mama. Honestly, I'm humbled by that. I keep seeing you in these chats and just, wow, I appreciate you for saying that. But John, you are valuable. You're a valuable part of the channel, man. Like all of you guys are. The more active you are, the more valuable you are to me. Let's see. Oh, I'm starting to read the same comment again. How many pounds of mushrooms do you plan to sell per week with your new facility? How many square feet? So our new facility is 6,000 square feet, not counting the mezzanine, not counting the basement. We'll have 4 grow rooms in it, each one bigger than our biggest grow room is currently, just a little bit bigger, but bigger. And definitely better arranged to where it will hold more blocks. So one of our grow rooms over there will hold almost as much as our 2 grow rooms here do. That said, between the 4 grow rooms, we're going to have a fabrication shop in there, offices, laboratory space, storage space, that kind of stuff. But we're planning on doing about 3,000 pounds a week if we were doing all oysters out of there. But we'll be doing a lot of maitake, black poplar, because I've got a sales network that's out right now, right? So instead of just trying to broadcast further and further out, I'm going to dig deep a little bit. So I'm going to go to those same chefs that I'm selling oysters to and say, here's oysters. Would you like to add on black poplar, maitake, chestnut, comb tooth, shiitake? We've got a pretty long list. Milky mushrooms I'm going to be trying this summertime. I can't remember it all, but that you see my point is that I'm going to try to sell more to people because a lot of my chefs are still buying other mushrooms from other places. So, and they've told me that they would prefer to buy mushrooms from me. Plus, they know that I'm really worried about the quality of the mushrooms and growing well for them. So that's kind of what I'm going to be doing there. So it won't be 3,000 pounds because I'm going to be dealing with slower growing species. But I'm thinking about 2,000 pounds, about a ton a week is what I'm going to try to go for. And it will be a wide variety of strains. And I'll hopefully be doing like tracking forms, tracking data, scheduling my strains out and everything else. And with the scheduling, I'm planning on like posting how I track everything. Samantha and I are very much concerned with sharing the business side of these things with you guys. So we want to like share our spreadsheets and stuff with you, but we want to tidy them up. And I also don't want to give too much of my own personal information away, right? Like you guys don't need to know how much money I make or how little I make or whatever. So not exactly. My consults, I'm a lot more free with. If you hire me for a consult, I will tell you how much I'm making. That said, I'm making pretty good money. Would you ever be able to sell plans for the bagger if people want to build one? Brett, we are working diligently on it. Every time we build a bagger, we're working in the plans a little bit closer. So this last bagger that got picked up this week, Ben and I took pictures of it. Ben was taking pictures of it, and then every time Ben would do something, he was going and taking notes. He's already got some stuff typed up. He's got parts lists and everything else. We did think about going ahead and posting the parts list at least, but I don't think he's got that completely finished yet. So we're working on it bit by bit, Brett. Please be patient. And I appreciate the patience. I know you guys have been very patient as is. It doesn't need to be impressive. It shows a lot of people who are struggling with makeshift setups, the temp lab. Absolutely. Okay, I'll do it for sure. I like my table over there, though. I got to say, every time I get a new lab, I like this, like where I get a new table. So my last table was painted. I had that mural Samantha put on it. I really liked it. It is really showing wear, though. And then Ben did this table, much like he did my last table, which is it's just a piece of cheap wood, but polyurethane over it. And it is nice and smooth. It cleans really easily. And that is much like my table before this last one that I had in the old lab, the old lab. That's crazy. It was actually really sad taking apart that lab, this last lab that's directly below me right now, because that place, I've only been in it for about a year. And so I feel like I barely got used to the place, and then I'm moving into a new place. But this new place, we're hoping to live for about 5 years. That's kind of my plan right now, is this place is in my 5-year plan. And even then, even once we outgrow this place, we have other plans for this warehouse, so long as we can keep the lease going. You got to remember how far along you are compared to most people. I see this myself teaching people I've met. You know, John, I really forget that sometimes that I have been doing this for a while. And while I don't feel particularly masterful in this, I am a good ways down it. You're right. You're absolutely right. So it's a little humbling to realize that I've gotten good at something. Most of my adult life, through my 20s, I've been, my friends and I call it our lost 20s, because I just kind of like coasted from one job to another. And I was talking to some people earlier today, Providence Farms. I like these guys. They're working with veterans to kind of give them, particularly ones that have had traumatic experiences, giving them a place to come work on a mushroom farm, get an income. Give me 1 second, please. I'll be right back. I apologize for leaving you guys. Just give me a sec. Venture's getting into something and eating. Look at this on the floor. Oh, it looks like some brownies, yeah. Yeah, I'll clean that up.
Collier? Yep, it's still on.
All right, guys, I'm back. Cleans up, Collier. All right. Sorry about that, guys. I needed to use the restroom and go pee very badly. So, okay. I'm back. Now, see, where am I at? Oh, I was talking about the Providence Farms. These guys work with veterans, and they kind of try to give them a job, a place where they can heal, work that's interesting, that kind of stuff. I really like that kind of stuff. And it was really interesting to think about how I went through after I left boot camp. It sounds like I left there of my own accord. After I got kicked out for having terrible lungs, I kind of just wasted away for years. And so it's kind of interesting to me to think about how I've been, like, I've never really stuck with something for a long, long time. But mushrooms caught my attention. I've been with them for years. So, all right, let's see where else we're at. And John, thank you for that. I appreciate those words, man. You're right. I do gotta remember that for sure. On the topic of using spent bags in garden bed, after filling a raised bed with spent bags, how long should I wait before I plant it? So, in my experience, the plant seedlings should go in compost or good soil, and the mushroom bags should be used to amend it. And then at the end of your growing season, you can pile it really high and sprinkle a little urea on it, and those things will cook down to nothing by the time planting comes around again. Call your truffle ones out. So that would be my suggestion, would be to use it as a mulch for the first year, and then after that, you can start adding it at the end of every growing season. Or if you're a tiller, if you're doing gardens and you're going to till your garden instead of doing raised beds, throw the blocks out there and then just till them in. It works great. You'll get mushrooms growing right alongside your plants. It's a really nice system. It also keeps it's interesting because the mushroom blocks will break up hard clay and kind of act kind of like how people add sand and stuff to it. It kind of breaks it apart, loosens it up some. On the flip side, if you have really sandy soil, it thickens it up. So it's kind of a good mediator for the soil. I like that a lot. Just FYI, I really appreciate your honest, humble videos. You do an amazing job. Thank you. I really appreciate that. I'm not very good at... I've tried to be other people sometimes, and I'm not very good at hiding who I am. I have a really bad habit at that. And... so I think that I don't know. I think that it's I just am a little bit authentic, and so the honest part of it is, while I appreciate it very much, I think I'm just terrible at lying about it. But you're very welcome, and I've always wanted to start this showing you guys my mistakes, showing you how I do things, because there are people out there. You guys, some of you guys, are far better at me than at many things, and most of you are better at me than something. And so I'm not going to learn anything if I set myself up on a pedestal and you guys are too afraid to bring things up to me because you think that I'm a lot better than what I am. And I don't like that at all. I want to learn. I'm eagerly here awaiting learning. And you guys have taught me so much. I've become so much of a better grower since starting this channel. And in part because I actually see my own mistakes when I'm editing stuff. And in part because you guys, many of you are really good at pointing out my mistakes. Not most of you on the live stream, for sure. And then on top of that, you guys have just offered help after help after help after help on these different tasks that I'm not that great at or don't know anything about yet. And so thank you very much. I really appreciate it. And I appreciate that that's the way I come across. I hope that I continue that way. And if I ever stop, please let me know. You brew beer too. I don't actually brew much beer. I brew a lot of mead. I love brewing mead. And I brew some wine. And I used to do a lot of distilling back in the day, but I haven't done distilling in a long time. And but I do want to get into beer. I hear beer brewing is very different than venting. Maybe you can teach me some stuff on that. You're very welcome, Jamie girl. I'm glad that I've been useful to you. I hope that I continue to be a good source for you, and I hope you in turn become a good source for me. Another comment bites the dust. What comment? Yeah, Michael Mama, I'm still not seeing anything. I really don't know what's going on. The last comment I see was you saying that you're telling John that I'm valuable, or that John was valuable. So I'm sorry, Michael Mama. I don't know what's going on. It must be Google or YouTube. Same thing. Do I divide grow rooms by type of mushroom? So, Byron, I don't yet. In this place, I probably will. I'll have too many strains going to divide each one for its own species' sake. Historically, I've always only grown things that grow together because I have one room. Then I had two rooms, and we set aside one as this is where the experimental bags go, and then the other bags go, more of the production bags go in this one room. But this production always spilled over because we were always pushing the limits. And I hope that I can do some tweaking. I hope I can have some warmer rooms and some cooler rooms, and that will allow me to that will really allow me to have a good control over stuff, all year production on things. I got to talk to Ben about it because I'm not entirely sure how to do it. And milky mushrooms are interesting. They look as easy as oysters, and they keep saying that you have to case them. Here's the thing. They used to say that about kings all the time. I don't think you're going to have to case milky mushrooms. I think you just need the heat. But here's the other side of that. Pink oysters, people always said that you couldn't grow pink oysters in anything other than like really hot temperatures. I've grown pink oysters down to 50 degrees. I think milkies might be the same. So I just made up a bunch of milky spawn today while I was over at the foundry. And I'll let you guys know how it does. Trust me, if I get milky mushrooms going, there will be a video about it. I have an indigo milky cat that grows in my yard. We'll be cloning it this summer. Yeah, please do. You and I, Wayne, we've already talked about this, but I absolutely want to see that. Stainless tables are super cheap on restaurant supply websites. I'll talk to you offline before we make the bagger deal. Yeah, Byron, that sounds good. And let me know about those stainless steel tables. I actually would like to get some, but it depends on what you mean by super cheap, because plywood and 2x4s and polyurethane are a little paper on it, are pretty cheap. So, have you used spent grain from breweries for substrate? I have. They do make a better supplement than a grain spawn type, but most of the nutrition's already been extracted. They contaminate pretty easily. That said, you can absolutely use them, and they do absolutely work. So. Oh, did you figure it out? You and Jen got it figured out.
I'm very proud of it. No, so the
Good.
feedback was awesome. We got it.
Jen, I gotta say, Samantha's really enjoyed working with you.
Yeah. She's an awesome client. It's very forgiving and very she works with me. I appreciate it greatly.
I have two 14-inch fans on my fruiting that are a hassle to clean. My mentor said I need these for turbulence. I also have a 6-inch intake and exhaust fans, 9x18. Do you think I can eliminate these fans? So you shouldn't need a fan on intake. You should only need a fan on your outtake. And then as far as turbulence goes, if you're replacing the air in your room about every 5 minutes, every 2.5 minutes, or every 5 minutes, something like that, no, you don't need a lot of turbulence. The smaller the room, the less turbulence you're going to need. Turbulence is for whenever you have large areas where air is going to be settling and move. Like if it's not settling, like you'll see my fog, it kind of settles a little bit, but it barely slopes a little bit before going right back out. So no, I don't think that you need those turbulence fans. Just get rid of them for a week and see how your mushrooms do. And if they grow nicely, then you obviously don't need it. That said, if you have a mentor, it's always good to second guess them, but it's always good to listen to them. Well, he said that he has a mentor, and so he's referring to someone other than me, Collier, but thank you.
Well, just because they're your mentor doesn't mean that they're invaluable.
Well, yeah, so for instance, my mentor...
Or they can't grow from your feedback.
Yeah, my mentor's learned a lot from me now, and he's not even in the mushroom business as a fresh mushroom grower and seller anymore. He's one of the best growers I've ever met, but had a really hard time making the business side of things work. But he grows some of the most beautiful mushrooms even today that I've ever seen. And he joined the Commercial Mushroom Growers Network at one point, and they ran him off because, well, I guess they acted like he didn't really know what he was doing, and he did. He was really good at it. So you should absolutely listen to it. I'm getting off for the night, Andrew, but I love you, man. Look forward to your live streams, and you answered a couple questions that were burning on my mind. I appreciate you and consider you a friend. Thank you, John. I appreciate it, and I consider you the same. Have a good night. Mossy Creek, what's up, SSS? Not seeing anything either for Jen. Yeah, Wayne, I'm not finding anything, man. I keep looking on my admin tab here, and I'm not finding anything. Are you hand rolling, dude? You need a cigarette machine and tubes. I have never considered that. Yeah, I'm hand rolling, so maybe you could teach me about rolling. It's always been a poverty thing because it's like, what, 50 cents for one of those little hand rollers? So
Broke it, then taped it.
It's in that bottom drawer if you want to pull it out.
Yeah.
Yeah. So Samantha's laughing about my hand roller. Let me show you guys something, little redneck engineering that Ben did for me. Yeah. I cannot roll with just my fingers. And so, it shouldn't be that one. It should have is it not there anymore? I may have actually gotten rid of it now. There you go. Okay, so what it was it was one of those little tops rollers, and it broke the plastic. Huh? Yeah, leave my pickles alone. Those are hidden from the kids. Thanks for telling Collier.
Sorry.
No, none of your business. They're sweet gherkins. They're the one you don't like. I'm more worried about Brody and Aislinn than you. Anyways, so the hand roller she was wanting to show you that I guess I finally did get rid of was one where I was rolling and the plastic I was pressing really hard because this pipe tobacco is really like thick. So it like as I was rolling it would like it snagged and I crushed the plastic. So Ben took a block of wood, cut it to size, and then put the thing back together and just kind of held it. Or I held it while he just ran a couple of screws through the bottom. And then I had this big block of wood. It was the coolest roller because it never broke, no matter how like rough I was with it. I'm really rough with stuff, so. Oh. I got to talking too much. What do you supplement hardwood? Is oat bran good versus wheat bran? So I know whole oats will work. I don't know about oat bran. I've never used oat bran, but I imagine that it has similar qualities to the wheat. So what I would do when I would do wheat bran, what was the ratio? It was 40%. It was 40% supplementation, wheat bran to hardwood. So see if that'll work for you. Maybe go a little bit lower. Maybe try like 30% and then work your way up. But yeah, absolutely. Try it. I think it should work. Temperature variation is super important. I'm buying a mini split with 5 coil units. Nice. Yeah, that's controlling your temperature is one of the most important aspects. Like you can skimp on your lighting, you can skimp on your humidity systems and still get fairly good stuff. There's a lot of things that you can kind of skimp on. 2 things that you can't skimp on, in my opinion, are your temperature controls and your HEPA filter. Those are the 2 things to not skimp on. You can skimp on a steamer. I mean, you can build a steamer out of parts from Lowe's, but your wife is the shit. I wish I could post the pic for y'all to see. She's amazing. I agree. And thank you. You're fine. Rolling machines are pretty amazing and cheap. Oh, yeah, absolutely. Sorry, rookie question. Wheat bran out of stock on Amazon. Oh, no, you're fine, man. Do not worry about rookie questions. Rookie questions are why we're here, right? I mean, you're good, and you're very welcome, and I hope it's helpful. And yeah, Byron, I like it's perfectly round. It's evenly, like I can pull from it evenly and everything. I like it a lot better. So, Michael Mama says, no, a poverty thing is a Coke can and a safety pin. Fair enough. I think if I had that choice and spoken, I would just say no. I'm good. Thank you. Yeah, Powermatic manual injector on Amazon is kind of cheap, and tubes for a few bucks for $100. I will absolutely check it out. I am absolutely saying I will check it out for sure. I appreciate the heads up. Well, guys, I'm down at the bottom of the chat now, so unless you guys have any more questions, I guess I'm going to call it. Oh, Samantha's wanting a second. She's wanting to show something Jen's talking about, I think. Well, she should show it off. It's awesome. Well, find it, Samantha. People are waiting. Rich, hide the pickle. Oh, hide the pick from earlier. Yeah, I have to, or the kids. Do what?
I locked a layer and then I just unlocked it, and so it's not letting me use it. You, my friend, are getting me.
Jen, I don't know if she's gonna be able to show up. I have grain spawn to finish off tonight. Heck yeah, Wayne. Is that why you're still in the chat, or are you telling me to end it so you can go work? I'm all about building on the cheap if I can. Me too, Byron. I am too. Oh, here she is.
So my mama let me know that my egg looked like a bowling ball. So we made a crack. Oh gosh. It looks thicker on there, but it doesn't. Does it not? That's weird.
Show it again. Let me see. Holy crap. Yeah, that looks like it's definitely not able to pick. It's because this camera is a cheap camera, Samantha. It can't pick up. It literally doesn't have enough pixels.
That's blowing my mind. Looks like it's going to be upside down, but yeah, that's equally as horrible. Okay, I don't get it. Whatever. I'm sorry, Rebecca. Well, maybe she can get a t-shirt and wear it. And take a picture or something. I don't know.
Funny. Brett, I don't know if you're still on. I am sending you that link right now. So just send it. Wayne says it looks good from there.
So if the lines are thicker on that screen, does that mean that
No, because it's not the screen. What? Do I look fatter on camera than I look in person?
That's what I was wondering.
I'm all about building. Well, here we would see it, Samantha. I mean, I'm all about building the cheap if I can. We are not agaricus farmers. So I agree, Byron, but I will say that the agaricus farmers, have you ever watched their, go look at their ops, man. They have like just wood everywhere. And they definitely are, I feel like they skimp a little too much on some of their infrastructure. So, Andrew, I just found your channel yesterday. Thank you for such great info. Did not get a chance to see all the detail in your steamer. Are you pasteurizing or sterilizing? How long? So it's a super pasteurizer, atmospheric pasteurization. Basically, I'm atmospheric steaming for like 24 hours in those things. And hey, thank you, 100th Monkey Mushrooms. I used to watch you when I first started stuff, man. Awesome. Welcome to the chat. Thank you. Which Mossy Creek oyster strain is your favorite for outdoor cultivation? The King Blue works really well on logs. I didn't know if it would, but it actually worked really, really well. So that's probably one of my favorites. Plus, when it grows outdoors, like in the wintertime and gets a lot of sun, it looks almost black. Talking about the blue oyster outdoors, and how they'll get like thick and meaty and like
All
black
oysters
colored.
get really dark colored outside.
They do get really dark colored outside.
Yeah, the blue oysters definitely. I actually.
Byron said I'm going to go make a pipe with a Coke can and a safety pin. Thank you, Mike Mama.
Challenges. Yeah, I've got on our Instagram page. I have a video of the blue outside, and it had grown, and it froze, and I'm sitting there knocking it with my my knuckles, and it's holding. And it's dark colored. It's like this really nice dark brown color.
Well, those blue oysters can like grow outdoors and freeze solid, and then when it thaws out, they just start growing again.
Yeah, I picked them frozen.
Mm-hmm.
And put them in a box and put them in the fridge, and they thawed out, and they were beautiful. I was amazed.
Andy Tuesday says, I got an old German tobacco shredder. That's awesome. Growing tobacco is on my to-do list. Yeah, I've grown transplants out a few times. I've never been able to actually, I've harvested plants. I'm trying to think of how many years ago it was. I harvested and dried out stuff and did smoke it, and it was rough. And then later on, I found out that you got to age the stuff properly. So, yeah, there's definitely a way to do things. Thankfully, the internet exists. Oh, you're welcome, Brett. Didn't know if you were still on or not. I can't actually see who exists until they just chat. Or maybe I can. I totally can. Just learn something new. Whole oats are expensive. Yeah, they can be. It's like $13 a 50-pound bag at the co-op. But I can get them all year, and I prefer oats for spawn. So I know that, and oats are incredibly nutritious for the mushrooms. The high protein, that kind of thing. Good fat content, high fiber.
Venture, anyway.
Oh, Venture opened the door? I thought Venture was the one barking.
No, Venture opened the door and tried to bark
Oh.
at opening the door.
One of my dogs has learned how to open the door to get back inside. I cannot get him to shut it. I'm working on it. All right. Looks right for us. It's mirroring for you. Gotcha. Interesting. Oh. So if I point at that side of the screen, then I'll be pointing at myself here in just a moment. I am. So it looks right to you guys, but it's, yeah, okay. Gotcha. Night, Mike Obama. We'll see you later. Good night, and thank you for doing this. You're welcome, Byron. Thank you. Jewel is back on again. Yeah, Rich, I heard about that. I'm gonna check that out here in a little bit. She's apparently just on for a couple of things. So you've been out rolling in the fire pit.
Done. You.
I'm gonna blow through these guys, and then we'll go get off here and go relax before bed. I've been at it since early in this morning. So, thanks. Is there a wood type you prefer We have loads of aspen and hickory on our property. For outdoor growing, I prefer oak or maple. 100th Monkey Mushrooms. I don't know if you remember. I used to watch it. 100th Monkey Mushrooms. I was.
Used to watch him back in the day.
Yeah.
Yeah,
And he's on the chat. Yep.
That's awesome.
He said, "Of course. I noticed you took my idea for taping bags. Keep the growing." I did. I actually stopped taping now though. So I did tape for a while, but I've definitely stopped these days. I just tuck under it now.
We talked about the idea for. So. Why did we start taping this?
Because I watched it. It was like, oh my gosh, it's so much easier than having to fold under.
And then TR gave you a really hard time about taping.
Oh, TR gave me. TR Day was an Earth Angel, and he gave me so much shit for taping bags. That's actually not why I stopped. Ben and I actually stopped because it was like, if we're doing hundreds of bags, it's an extra step, and if we don't have to do it, then we start playing with it. But yeah, I absolutely did for a while.
Actually, we've learned now that if you fold them
with the gussets, nice,
really nice, and you fold it fast enough before the water permeates everything, then it'll swell up with the fold, and it'll push the fold shut tight. You don't even have to worry about it. Vacuum seals it. So that'd be a good way to save tape. It's worked really well for us.
Yeah. She said, "It's effing awesome. I love my piece."
Yay, I am glad.
Right? Imam, no, that is not my mom behind me. That is my wife.
I look that much older than you.
I don't know. Everyone's always thought I was your dad. It's only fair.
The theory story.
She said, "Thank you, baby girl."
You're welcome.
SSS, can you get whole oats at Tractor Supply, 50 pounds for $15 in my area? Yeah, there you go, S's. The blue I got from you is faster than the others. Heck yeah, Rich. Well, to be fair, I try really hard to make sure that you guys get the good stuff. That blue is one of the best blues I've ever come across. Now, did you get the King Blue, or is it just my blue strain? Because my blue strain is a descendant of Lambert's 1, 2, 3 and isolation from it. My King Blue is a cross between a couple different strains. It was like my first cross that proved worthwhile.
Oh my gosh.
What book do I recommend for growing mushrooms? My book that is the single most recommended by me right now is Radical Mycology by Peter McCoy. It is hands down the best and most complete treatise on growing mushrooms I've seen so far. Again, there are some caveats that I could throw in there. I'm not going to right now, but it is a great book. Appreciate the stream. Much love to y'all in the community. Thank you for everything. Good night, Mossback fam. Good night, Wayne. Have a good one, man. We'll talk to you later. Your mom says, "Sorry, man, I didn't know." No, man, don't worry about it. I don't think she took offense. I didn't take offense.
Oh,
You're fine.
No, I didn't take offense at all.
Let's see. 100th Monkey Mushroom says, "Keep up the great content. Glad I found your channel. Have a good night." I'm glad you found it too, man. Thank you for coming on, and have a good night yourself. Love that book. Just sticking to it now. Good. Enjoy it. It's a good one. Long live the queendom. Oh my God, David. Oh. They are biological kingdoms. There is no such thing as a queendom. There is scientific jargon for a reason. It's so we all have the same language. Blues and King Blue. Awesome. Well, I hope it worked for you. David, you really know how to wind me up, man. All right. Oops. No, don't worry about it, Rich. It just happens sometimes, man. All right, guys. Good night, everybody. Another good 3-hour stream put in. Everybody stay safe out there. If you like this, please give me a thumbs up. Always subscribe to the channel. God, saltine jumps back on. Hold on. I just quit smoking 1.5 years ago. I replaced them with food. That's not a good replacement. Or if you do, you need to replace it with like weightlifting too, because I definitely got my gut back. And I've started lifting weights again. And gotta say, first thing in the morning, it sucks going, but so far I'm finding lifting weights first thing in the morning to be the best strategy to go with that. So I feel your pain, but
my dad switched to mints.
Yeah, her dad quit smoking, started getting a little chunky himself, and then switched to just mints. So, but yeah, Have a good night, guys. Thank you so much for joining me.